Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. It has all been leading to this, and so begins the 10th Doctor's final adventure. Hello everyone, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who podcast in the world. Don't listen to any others or I will my name, I was going to threaten something very bad, but I won't do that. My name is Nathan, as always. Okay. I'm joined by my companion as we go on this journey through time and space. His name is Lawrence Thomas Heisey. I've been thinking this week about changing my Twitter handle to @NathanJamesBauer, even though James isn't actually my middle name.
You have. So, it's weird that you have coined that, haven't you?
I know, and I coined that when I was like 4 as well.
This isn't like a podcasting thing. This has been something that you've stuck to for no good. Were you insecure that you never had a middle name?
For 100%. And I tell you what, it's because I've got like 6 sisters. They all have middle names. But I don't. I'm the only cunt in my family who doesn't have a middle name. Right?
Is there any significance for James? What's James about?
No, I just always liked the sound of it. I always used to write it on my books at school, and I just
for real?
I just thought it sounded good. Just Nathan James Bauer. It's not even official, but
kids can do that kind of stuff though. Like I remember so clearly in primary school there was one instance where like I told someone that I would give them something from my lunch if they spread the word around that my hair is black and not brown.
Okay.
And because I was just obsessed with the
but surely that only works until the moment someone sees you.
No, but because then if they'd ever question me on it, I'd be like, no, it's just a light black.
Oh, you're just gaslighting them.
Yeah, fully. But I genuinely have no idea why I was compelled to do that, but
that's very funny.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that at your school there was this kid who apparently anything you wanted to get spread around, you just paid him something from your lunch, like some kind of black market deal, and he'd get the word around. That's some Recess shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a side character from Recess, the guy with the trench coat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there were those archetypes, but no, I think your banner would serve you well, or your handle, Nathan James Bauer.
I didn't even check if it's available. I probably should have before I did that. Anyway, Doctor Who. That's what we're here to do, to talk about. Anyway, we're here to discuss and dissect Series 4, Episode 17. Oh, it's a long one. This is The End of Time Part 1. Written by Russell T Davies, directed by Eurus Lynn. Significantly, the first time in the revival era that a part 1 has been employed.
I was going to ask you about this. Where do you land on a part 1 title and a part 2 structure?
There's something about it which seems like, ooh.
It seems more epic.
It does. I don't know why, but I'm like, oh, okay, you have my attention. What's going on here? And in Revival Who, only been used twice. This is one of 2 examples in almost 20 years.
Has the first already happened?
Yeah, well, this is the first.
Oh, this is okay. I was wondering if I'd already missed it.
No. This. I mean, I literally just said that. That was my entire note. But okay. That's how we got onto this topic of conversation, Lawrence. You dickhead. No, but yeah, it's in almost 20 years. It's one of only 2 examples so far that we have of a part 1, part 2 been employed.
I'm not sure if it's worthy of the epic, grandiose nature of a part 1 and part 2 formatting.
Little sizzle. I thought you loved this episode, Lawrence. This is your favourite Doctor Who episode.
Hang on. Firstly, I've never said that.
You've been chiming for weeks that the end of time is, and nobody better have a bad word to say about it. Or Lawrence will be like, not my nostalgia childhood that I enjoy.
Look, this is
not this thing that I haven't watched since I was 12. I remember it being very good because David Tennant left, which I think is most people's opinion of this episode.
I absolutely agree, and there is like a strong thesis to be made that even now, I'm very forgiving on this. Purely because of like where it stands in its placement in my childhood, nostalgia, my favourite Doctor, his final story.
Should I give my general thoughts before you go into your updated thoughts?
I'm quite. I know where you're going with it. I know exactly where you're going to go, but I'm still scared.
You do, but it's been a bit of a sizzle. I haven't said anything up until now on the podcast. Anyway,
I think unless you've been really careful with the edit, you've absolutely given away your main thoughts.
No, I was careful with the edit. I did cut some stuff out last week. But even so, some people have looked at the writing on the wall, as it were, and managed to put two and two together. I'm just going to go over my general notes and say last week we had what is just all round one of the absolute best episodes of Doctor Who. For me, the best of the Russell T Davies era, and just one of the best episodes in general. It hits on every level, from writing to performances. It's just such a good all-round episode, an absolutely great time. And this week we have what might just be the worst episode of Doctor Who ever.
Ever?
Oh my God. And I fully mean that. I fully mean. And you might be like, but Nathan, what about Love and Monsters? Love and Monsters is funny. All right? Love and Monsters is that so bad it's good category, Yeah. It's up there with The Room, with one of those dumb, cheesy, like, horror movies or whatever. You can laugh at it with your mates and have a good time, all right? This is just dull, and there's almost nothing to grab onto. There is, in my opinion, one good scene in this entire episode. You can probably guess what it is, but there is one good scene in the entire episode, and the rest of it is just, it's like it takes everything bad about the Russell era, shoves it into a blender, and this is the mess that comes out. And I am sorry if you like this episode, and I will try not to be too harsh as we go on it, because I know it's not
you
nice
won't.
To, like,
no, you won't try at all.
I'll do my best. Look, I know it can be not nice to listen to something you love get kicked over and over again. Trust me, I know. But look, I have to be truthful. And for me, I think most people hail this as one of the best. But that is pure nostalgia because it's David Tennant's last episode. Or the start of anyway. And I think even they've done David a disservice as well. I think they wanted to do this big, like, two-part epic finale for David and his era and the end of the Russell era, but it's just stuffed with nonsense that does not need to be here. And I mean, we have not got to next week yet, so we haven't seen it all, but it almost certainly would have been far more better and coherent as just a single episode, rather than them doing this over-bloated mess that we have. But again, not fully a fair criticism, because we have not seen. I mean, I've seen it, but in terms of this rewatch, we have not seen next week's yet. So but we can critique and poke holes in this episode. That's what we're doing. Like, we are here to talk about this episode. I'm gonna, trust me. And don't get me wrong, there's elements I like throughout it. I'm not gonna be here like, wow, this is bad, because who wants to listen to that, But like, there are stuff that it's fine, it's good stuff. But and let me tell you, Weirdo of the Week, didn't know who to pick. I had like 7 solid options, and I was like, I could pick this guy, I could pick this, I could pick, and it took me quite a while to settle on who to pick. I got there in the end, but my God, it was a tough one. And last week as well, we made a point of like saying, famously, well, not famously, but like Weirdo of the Week was quite tough last week for the opposite reason, because it was so well written, everyone was quite well fleshed out, and there wasn't like an obvious weirdo to choose from. So it was a bit difficult, but my God, I do not like this episode.
Really? I couldn't tell. I thought you were fairly indifferent on it.
And I think I'll probably be a little bit hypocritical in parts, because there will be times where I'll be like, stuff I would have liked in previous episodes, like I'm like, oh, that's, it's silly and it's cheesy, but it's Dr. Who, like I like that. I'm much more critical when it's presented in such a mess of a package.
I think that's the thing, isn't it, right? The pie chart in Doctor Who, where the hypocrisy comes in, is when the pie chart kind of tips over into like being too much of one thing. Because I'd say Doctor Who should be equal parts stupid and brilliant.
Yes.
Right, and that is the secret sauce, like, little ingredient, like that's the recipe for a good episode of Doctor Who. Some of the best episodes of Doctor Who have got some of the goofiest shit.
Of course,
right? We spoke last week. The which robot? Oh, Gadget, yeah.
Which robot? Are you fucking kidding?
Nathan and I have cast all of the Waters of Mars out of my mind by this point.
Oh me.
This episode, this is a humbling rewatch, I'll be honest. Right?
You peek behind the curtain. You obviously knew my opinion about this.
Yeah.
And for the past few weeks, and I think you've even said it on this podcast, you were like, I've heard nothing bad about The End of Time. It's one of my favourites and all this. And we've been gearing up for a big fight here today. But seems that might not be the case.
You texted me this week saying things might get heated on Wednesday, right? And I was like, that could be likely. But look,
by the
I've
way,
always
happy
said,
Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah,
let's have a little kiss.
Nathan, will you be my Valentine's?
I will. Will you be mine?
No.
No.
I got him.
No.
Look, I'm gonna do my thoughts, right?
Okay.
And they're conflicted because there is like a little child in me that's like, listen to yourself, man. Get a hold of yourself. This is peak television.
It's not.
And then there's the other part of me that's like watching this as an adult, being like, oh no, this kind of sucks.
I mean, and I will say as well, like when I watched this for the first time, I didn't notice how awful it was, because like most people, I was caught up with, it's Ten's last episode, it's the drama of Ten leaving and everything else, and there's a lot of like stuff in this episode which are like big Lord Doctor Who moments as well, so that's like a and like that sort of stuff. But then I think I first rewatched it about a year or so later, and then I was like, oh no, that's not as good. That's not as good as I remember it being. So this isn't like a fresh opinion I've had. This is something I've held on to for quite a while.
Waiting for this episode.
Waiting 10 plus years for my
bubbling
podcast.
Away under the surface. Look. All right, let me do my spiel and then we'll get on with it. All right.
I'm excited.
I have always and often said I always prefer a big swing and a miss to just a lukewarm, boring, anyone run-of-the-mill could have done it.
Yeah.
This might be too big of a swing. There are simply too many things that I am supposed to care about in this episode that mean absolutely nothing. Right, this is... Right, it's a humbling moment to rewatch your favourite showrunner of Doctor Who, your favourite Doctor of the revival era of Doctor Who, right? To watch their swan song, and then watch the Confidential episode, and then realise that I enjoyed the Doctor Who Confidential episode more than the episode of Doctor Who itself.
I'll tell you what, there's some good stuff in that Confidential episode.
It's really insightful and interesting.
And we'll talk about it, but some like very creative stuff as well. Like, you want to talk about fucking getting around a budget? My God, I'll fucking hire that Welsh crew any day. They know what they're doing, man.
Euros Lynn, come and direct episodes of this podcast, please.
Please.
Look, it's just... there are some.
Call it what it is, Lawrence. It's a mess.
No, it isn't, right. It is a mess. That's the core of it, right? It's trying to cram in so much stuff, and they're trying to make it this big, epic they're trying to capture two things. I think they're trying to capture the silliness of the RTD era, and they're trying to capture this grandiose scale of this swan song to this iteration of an epic Time Lord. And those two ideas do not mix.
I think RTD might have like realized he accidentally like, how to say this without sounding incredibly crass, like he accidentally spoofed his load on fucking...
That's what you went for. That's how you... That was the phrasing you went... That's not crass.
He accidentally fucking spoofed his load on Journey's End. And, like, he already did. He already gave his, like, his big finale for this era. And then he's like, shit. Oh, well, just better write some new shit, which doesn't make any sense then. Here we go.
Yeah. Look, I like the Master coming back, right? I like John Sim as the Master quite a lot. Yeah. And I think this episode is largely being held up by John Sim's performance as the Master, not what the Master's up to.
No.
His performance as the Master and Wilf, played obviously by the lovely late Bernard Cribbins. And I think they are the two guiding lights out of the dark in this episode.
Well, should we get into it? Should we just go into it and stop the dilly dallying and just get on with our run through and analysis, which is what everyone comes for. This hard.
Our ending explained.
But it's the whole episode, though. That's what we do here. Also, thank you everyone for listening and enjoying, and most importantly, not killing yourselves after last week. That was
thank you for the forgiving lack of an hour and a half. That meant a lot to us.
Everyone has been very kind. I think because I when I do the post announcement on Twitter, I put in I'm terrified. Please, no one actually kill yourselves, and everyone was very nice. And said good
I don't think anyone actually expected us to try. I think we could have got away with it if it weren't for us.
I also, after we recorded the Wars of Mars episode, I also tweeted out Wars of Mars recording done, and then the GIF from Lord of the Rings, the Frodo it's done, the exhausted one, and then all the replies were, "You actually did 6 hours?" And I thought, oh fuck no!
Oh no, I've made it worse.
And then I got musked. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Someone said "Oh, you actually did 6 hours," and I replied, "You'll have to find out on Monday." Brackets, please don't kill yourself. And then because the phrase "kill yourself" was in that tweet, just completely ignoring the "don't" right in front of it, but because the phrase "kill yourself" was in a tweet, it got auto flagged, and Elon was like, "Oh, we're banning your account for 12 hours. Good luck."
Did it?
And I was like, "Cheers, Elon."
Did it, when you tweeted it, did it do that thing where it was like, "Hey, people don't normally tweet like this. Are you sure that this is a good choice?"
No, but hold on to that.
Okay, all right.
Hold little sizzle. Hold on to that.
Okay. Consider me sizzle.
Sizzle. All right. Anyway, we'll again. Thank you for your kind words about last week. It's very nice.
And I have since slept. And I'm sorry for being mean.
He was very mean towards the end of last
Look, I still stand by it that I think it was no chance that people want to listen to 4 hours of people passively getting along, right? There was a bit of drama needed, spice it up a little bit.
But, all right, but you could have been mean to me and not the audience.
Look, I don't know what compelled me to do this, but it was on we recorded the longest podcast we've ever recorded on quite possibly a day where I was incredibly busy and had chores I was putting off doing, which then became nothing. That phone call I needed to get to was fucking wasted my time.
Absolute idiot.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna go through this pile of shit now, I guess. All right, so we start off with a narration by a mysterious voice, Lawrence, telling us that all the people of Earth are celebrating Christmas night, an ancient pagan tradition, but they're having bad dreams. Who could this mysterious voice be? It's Timothy Dalton. We all know
wait. I wasn't going to reveal it. I was going to sizzle it because we don't find out just yet. We do
No, we don't know who the voice is, but we know it's Timothy Dalton.
We know it's Timothy Dalton, but we don't know who Timothy Dalton is playing.
And I'm not going to say this entire episode because it's not revealed.
That's true. Yes.
Some is revealed, but not
not the whole thing.
Yes.
No, I'm with you. I will say I've recently watched Hot Fuzz, And hearing Timothy Dalton doing anything else now is
Yeah.
just really funny, especially when it's just a voiceover, when it's like an ancient pagan tradition. And I was just thinking of like, I'm a slasher of prices. Lock me up.
He's so good in Hot Fuzz. Man.
He's so good.
I love that. Here come the fuzz line he does. He's so good.
And then at the end, when he's got the fucking steeple through his mouth, and he's like, "Oh,
yes. Yeah." Oh, it's great. He's great in that movie.
Yes. But what does the mysterious voice reveal about the health of the sleeping patterns of the people of Earth?
Well, everyone's having bad dreams. They're all having the same recurring nightmare of a
member of
madman.
NSYNC, seemingly.
Yeah. A madman doing a little chuckle, and then he's like, "Do it, do your laugh, you do it well."
Yeah, but I'm still recovering from this sore throat. I'll try.
God.
But you've really put me on the spot, but I will try. I've never wanted to back away from a challenge.
Everyone watch him.
He goes,
Great. Zoom cut that out for me, but I'm sure.
well, it was incredible, and you'll hear it later on.
Great, I can't wait. Yes, so everyone is having bad dreams. Who cares? But Wilf is back though. We closed in on Wilf. He's back. He's also having bad dreams. But it's Christmas. He goes to church and he meets a mysterious woman who tells him about the Doctor and some legend, but it just doesn't mean fuck all though.
It doesn't. It's not anything.
It's just completely nothing. It's just like, this church was built on a covenant, and there was a demon, and then a blue box came, and the sainted physician. Who could that be? He smoked the demon and ran away. Great. All right. Does this have anything to do with the rest of the episodes? No. Great.
I can't tell you how much I used to give a fuck about who this woman was and her identity.
Well, I think that's more so next week because
it is.
Because there's something that happens next week which has to this day has people discussing and theorizing and stuff. And in this episode we're not given much on this woman. She has 2 or 3 scenes, and
they're real cryptic and vague.
Yes, to a point where I don't even think Russell know what the fuck was going on. In The Confidential, he seemingly says a lot of this Time Lord stuff he had figured out from day dot. If he brings them back, he knows exactly how he's going to bring them back and what they're going to do. What was interesting to me about the Confidential was when he was speaking about the return of the Master. And he was talking about how he just put the ring thing at the end of series 3 has I'll leave that for Steven or whoever goes on, and then they could
J.J. Abrams did.
Exactly, just a way for the Master to come back, exactly like we fucking had recently. Spoiler alert. But he was never planning to do a big return or anything. It's just something to keep the story going. But then he talked about how he always knew it would be the prison warden, and then the cult, and Lucy Saxon, and all this stuff would happen. You always knew that was.
If you've been cooking it for that long, you had so much time to realize that it was shit. It's nothing.
We're going to talk about that cult stuff in a minute. Trust me.
Yeah, okay. We're going to talk about the Return of the Master in a bit as well. My lord.
We will, and my God, there's some stuff going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes to church. He meets this woman. Whatever. It means nothing. It means fuck all.
Well, before we move on from that, I did just want to say about the woman. Now, I think we'd be remiss that we don't know the exact identity of this woman. No one does. They're speculations.
Yes.
But she is...
I think that's more a conversation for next week.
It is, but that's why I'm going to skip over this real quick, but I just need it for context, right?
Okay.
She is aligned with a faction. And with this faction... we particularly discuss the outfits.
Yes.
And she is wearing quite a smart white business suit, Nathan.
I'm not doing
It's suit talk!
No, come on. This is nothing. This is nothing. This is just a little white fucking old lady suit, all right?
I think it's quite elegant.
This is just
and
something
nice.
the Queen would wear, all right?
All right, now it's less elegant because I don't like the Queen.
And she's dead.
My beef with a dead woman continues.
Great.
All right, no. So the mysterious woman, she pulls a Batman.
She does pull a Batman.
She Batman's out of there.
She does Batman out of there. Yes.
More nothing.
Exactly. But it's meant to give us this air of like, oh, mysterious. Who is
she even there? Ooh.
Is she there? Ooh. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Will's just going insane. Bless him.
He's just getting on a bit, isn't he?
Anyway, title sequence.
Yep.
John Sim and Bernard Cribbins in the title sequence this week. Bit of fun, I reckon.
Bernard Cribbins is definitely worthy, but they've never put a... Have
No,
they
they've
ever
put
put
a
like
villain.
a villain?
No.
Yeah.
No. Not
Strange.
really. Yeah. But it's John Sim, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's like... he's a big part of the episode, so...
I mean, yeah, he's essentially a co-lead, to be honest.
Yeah.
He's not just like given the villain storyline. He's pretty much every cutaway from the Doctor is either Wilf or John Sim. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. I was going to say, could the argument be made he is a companion of the episode? I mean, kind of, but not quite.
I see your point. I'm hesitant to get on board that train.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ready for more insufferable 10th Doctor?
Oh my God, Lawrence! Last week, all right, I kept stopping myself from talking, and there was like several points where I mentioned there's a lot I want to say right now, but I have to wait until next week.
Yeah.
And oh fucking boy, it's time. All right.
Okay. All right. Please indulge.
Oh fucking boy. All right. Last week we had the Time Lord victorious, all right? And we ended the episode on a truly dark and frightening note for Doctor Who, and we were like, oh, what does this mean for the Doctor? Has he fundamentally changed? Is he in this now strange, dark place? Is he terrified because of his oncoming death and because of the ramifications of what he done? Nope, all in the fucking bin. All right, he's got on a silly little hat. He's got on a Hawaiian lei for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, look at me. I'm the 10th Doctor. I'm being silly and I'm having fun once again. Turns out all those ramifications and consequences from last week, they mean absolutely fuck all.
See,
I'm just having a little bit of fun, Ood Sigma.
I am inclined to agree.
Boy.
I know, all right, and I'm inclined to agree, but I do think there is an element of like, this is the 10th Doctor, right? Like someone will face a problem, right? Or like someone, like in smaller senses, we've seen it before. Someone will acknowledge something in a conversation that he doesn't want to acknowledge, right? Like his feelings for Rose or what happened to the Time Lords, and he will just word vomit or do something doctory and stupid to avoid talking or acknowledging the truth.
I know it's bravado, all right?
Yeah.
I know later on we do get a scene where he is actually like scared and stuff because of like that. But
it's tonal
what
whiplash.
happened? It's tonal whiplash, especially if you're going right from one episode to the next, because like
which we didn't.
which we didn't, but like we could have. And like fuck it, but the ending to last week, it was such a huge monumentous moment. It was such a big change and a terrifying moment for the Doctor. And I know in universe it has been some time. We don't quite know how long. It's quite vague, but it's people often say it's probably been around about a year for the Doctor and stuff. And he's done a lot of stuff. He even mentions, and I'll go into that in a minute. But he's done a lot of stuff. All right, he's been busy. Okay,
he certainly has.
It's been exactly. It's been quite a bit.
He's been busy.
Right, but it's just. I don't know. It just really seems like they just took all this good stuff from last week and all these consequences and ramifications and just threw them out the fucking window and went, no, let's just go back to silly, goofy Doctor Who. And I love silly, goofy Doctor Who. Don't get it twisted, all right? That sounded weird. I do love silly, goofy Doctor Who, but like time and a place, it's just coming up in the complete wrong place for me here.
It feels a bit non-committal to the idea, because the thing that I struggle with is that because they would say to him multiple times, you shouldn't have delayed, and he knows he's coming back for something, right?
Yeah.
He knows he's coming back to face some type of reckoning, even though he doesn't really know what.
Yeah.
That will likely bring about his demise. And the thing that gets me is that I don't ever believe the 10th Doctor in this mind state would willingly land on the Ood's planet.
That's why it seems weird, because he's still in his silly, goofy vacation, I don't need to think about that mood, only he is thinking about it.
And he's there
he is
to do
facing
it.
up to the consequences.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense tonally.
He should either be more mature in this moment, or someone, the Ood should have fucking hijacked him and he lands somewhere, or the TARDIS sends him somewhere and it's grow the fuck up and I've locked the door.
He steps out the TARDIS and is like, hang on, this isn't Space Hawaii or whatever, And
look, we're not writers. We often say this, right? But sometimes an idea is just there.
I am. All right.
Well, Nathan's a writer. What have you written recently? A better opening to this episode of Doctor Who.
You know what? I've never told you this, but...
Oh! What?
There's probably 2 people in the world who know this.
There's about to be a few more.
And now I'm putting it on a phone.
Unless you cut this.
No, I don't mind. It's just not something I talk about. But I have a secret account on a website where I write and post fan fiction.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Genuinely.
That's actually quite cool. What kind of topics?
Mostly Raylo, if I'm being honest.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Have you done Doctor Who or been tempted to since starting the podcast?
I did years ago. I haven't in quite a while.
Oh, no. Do Sim and 10. Do Sim and 10 specifically on that phone call from Sound of Drums.
It's not just fucking slash figs and
No, I know, but
but anyway, that's something.
I want to read some of these.
You'll never will.
You have so many secrets that you won't tell me.
It's too much for you, Lawrence. You can't handle it. Okay. What was we saying?
So
we're not writers. That's what you were saying.
No, we're not writers, but I just think sometimes such simple tweaks. I genuinely believe the opening of this episode could be so much more improved by just him stepping out the TARDIS, frantically seeing where he is, trying to get back in the TARDIS, and the TARDIS has locked the door, and it's basically the TARDIS going, "Fucking deal with it."
Yeah,
I think that would be better.
Anyway, he's wearing an ugly brown suit.
I wanted us to meet in the middle here because he is wearing a blue undershirt that we've seen him wear. He's not wearing his tie.
I mean, a little bit. You can hardly see it. To be fair.
No, no. He's got the dark navy shirt and a brown t-shirt underneath his shirt.
See, again, it's too much brown.
He's not
layering correctly. Yeah. He's not layering correctly.
Also, who's wearing a t-shirt under a shirt?
Yeah,
and a suit.
Well, he's on a snow planet.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, but he has gone for the open collared dress down approach.
Well, he's in a weird mix between a middle-aged mum's hat and a Stetson.
It's like a cowboy hat, but like a cheap straw version.
Yeah,
somehow.
One that your mum's wearing on the beaches.
at the local rodeo night down at the local working club or whatever.
when you have Tenerife at 10, but wrangling at 12. But he's got some sunnies on as well.
Well, they're the same. It's just his glasses that he sonicked. It's the same ones from that we saw on Planet of the Dead. So those ones. Yeah.
Is he keeping them sunny? Do you reckon? Or is he changing them back now that he's realised they're dual function?
I reckon he's probably changed them back. Did he wear the glasses in Waters of Mars? I don't think he did.
No, because the Waters of Mars was a serious bit of TV.
No, but I mean the glasses. When he needs to read some stuff on a screen or whatever, you know how he does.
I do know how he does, but I'm struggling to recall now. Yeah.
I don't think he did. I don't think we ever saw them. So maybe they have been in that state since, but I doubt it. He locks the TARDIS like a car.
Does the Ood know what a car is?
No. Why would they?
Wasted.
Why would they? I mean, Ood Sigma's smart, but
they see a lot. They've got their seance circle or whatever.
Yeah, but that's a very modern Earth reference. And even today that would be outdated because cars don't actually lock like that. They don't actually blink their lights and go like that,
Yeah, that's definitely a TV trope kind of thing.
Yeah, Anyway, how hilarious. Well done, Russell. You made us all laugh with that one.
Look, I don't hate it.
I do.
But at the same time, it's nothing. Like, and then it's made worse by 10 being like, because I locked it like a car. And it's like...
Because it's funny, get it?
Yeah, there is not a person on Earth that didn't understand that.
Yes. I know, 10. Anyway, so we find out it's been 100 years since the Doctor was last on the planet of the Ood, and they've like advanced and grown, and they've got like big spires and buildings and stuff now.
Sigma's still wearing his outfit though.
No, yeah, it looks good though. It's good.
I guess it looks
Sigma
good.
suit
But...
talk. Here we go.
Okay, yeah,
it's good. It's beautiful navy blue suit.
Do you know what? You win. Fine.
He's the best dressed Ood.
No, I think ones that are in like robes, they look nicer. And the one's got like the brain head.
My next note, all right. If the Ood carry their brains in their hand, why does this cunt have a big brain on his head?
Because he's head of the circle. He's got 2 brains.
Why does he have 2 brains? And why is one of them in the normal human place and one of them's the Ood brain?
One's for being serious, one's for being silly.
No, I don't like it. It doesn't make sense.
One is for the circle to share.
All right, so we get the flashback circle.
Yes.
Where they're all like, oh, we're having bad dreams, and here's stuff that's happening on Earth, and here's the Master laughing, here's Wilfred, here's Martian Manhunter, here's Lucy Saxon, all right? And then fucking... and then my note says, it was nice of the Doctor to show the Ood some old clips of Doctor Who, so they would get caught up on who the Master is.
Yeah, he literally just gives them the exposition blast. And I love that it's presented in the way of, he was the Prime Minister, and then he was, hang on, let me just show you. And then we just get to see it too. And
like, it's written as if like, oh, this is for the Ood, but it's for the general Christmas Day audience who don't know who the Master is.
Yeah, the Ood know this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like when you show your mate a TikTok or a YouTube video they've already seen. The Ood are just politely waiting for the Doctor to finish zapping that into their brains.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I really noticed the quality here. Because it's HD and then he does flashbacks full screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, it looks shit.
It's very funny as well when they do the flashback of the ring fall in the Master's ring. And then they have the painted nails like picking it up and it's still like 480p, looks like shit. But then suddenly cuts to this crisp HD shot of this woman's face. Like, oh, that was definitely filmed at the same time then, wasn't it?
I like that the Doctor is like he's zapping this back, but then he's like, hang on, I never saw this. You never saw any of this.
I know.
This was on the show Doctor Who. You'd walked off at this point.
I have a fun little fact that you will enjoy, Lawrence. I don't know if you know this.
Okay.
But, the Elder Ood is voiced by Brian Cox from that show you like.
Really?
Yeah, and he also played Sidney Newman in Adventure in Space and Time.
He did. Yeah, I really like Brian Cox. He's not doing his traditional American / Scottish accent.
No, he's gone quite like British, I guess.
So already as an editor, I'm sat here thinking I'm going to put Hot Fuzz dialogue into Timothy Dalton's opening monologue, and I'm going to replace the Chief Ood with just Brian Cox telling everyone to fuck off a million times from Succession.
Well, I haven't seen Succession, so I don't get that reference.
Not for long.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, they all get red eye or whatever, but it doesn't mean anything. And then
it's just there to be like the Ood do this sometimes.
Yeah, but don't worry about it. It's not bad this time. The darkness holds only one thing: the end of time itself. That's all right. Don't mind that.
It's a good line, but I think it's ruined by Timothy Dalton being like, he is returning and they are returning, and it's like, well, okay, cheers.
Brian Cox, you mean?
No, was that him? I thought Timothy Dalton was doing some of that as well.
No, that's all the Ood. That's all the Ood going.
Oh, I see. Oh, maybe that's why I didn't even register it. I just assumed it was Timothy Dalton, yeah.
No, it was all the Ood, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, like, just let me watch them return. Don't just tell me they're returning.
I like the Ood.
The Ood are good.
Yeah.
But I do think they're now being written. The Ood have had a hard run of it, right? Because they were just the slaves. And then there was a really nice episode of their liberation, and now they're just the expositional people that are mates with the Doctor.
Well, in this episode they are. I think that's very quickly forgotten about. But
do they come back an awful lot, the Ood?
Here and there, they've popped up. Yeah, most recently in series 13, I think the last time we saw one.
Interesting.
Yeah, but it's quite infrequent. So
yeah. Well, I mean,
don't get too excited.
As a change of showrunner often stipulates.
Yeah.
I'm not touching any of that.
What have we got here, Lawrence?
I'll tell you what we have got, Nathan.
Okay.
We have a nice line of dialogue, where I mean, and we'll get to the prison, but I do like that Lucy's on screen, and the Doctor, fully knowing her name is Lucy, goes, "It's the Master's wife."
Yes, just removing any sense of character and individuality she had, and just any potentially good writing that could have been given to this character. Just we don't need any of that here.
It's the Master's wife. Never mind. I spent a year watching her get terribly abused. Yeah. And, like, I'm not saying Lucy's perfect. She made some choices and she has to live with that, right?
Yeah.
But, like...
And she did.
She's got a name.
Yeah.
At the bare minimum, give her that.
Anyway, let's talk about Lucy. Because the Doctor gets that end of time prophecy or whatever, and then he runs back to the TARDIS and he unlocks it like a car. Ha ha ha, very funny. Mm-hmm. And he's rushing back to Earth, all right? But whatever. Lucy Saxon is in prison, right? And then her like warden is like, I don't know, come to this meeting in this dark basement that looks like a dungeon in a castle, but I guess is a prison.
Yeah.
And then they're like, I don't know what that was. They're like,
you're trying to emphasize how stupid it all is, aren't you?
It's so stupid. My whole note here just says, what does it say? It just says this whole Saxon ritual is fucking ridiculous, even for Doctor Who. And this is just some of the worst examples of just Russell's complete just vague nonsense writing. Yeah. Because he's just not thinking about any word he's putting down to paper. This woman is like, the secret books of Saxon. They speak of the potions of life. What does any of that mean?
No, but then Lucy's mates have engineered the opposite, Nathan. The potions of...
We'll get to it. We'll get to it, Lawrence. But what does that mean? Are we supposed to believe that while fucking the Master was Harold Saxon Prime Minister, he somehow writ out some secret ancient fucking series of books, apparently, because it's the secret books,
multiple books of Saxon.
Yes, he writ out these like ancient scrolls and set up this like devious cult to worship and follow him, and he had some weird potions made or something to resurrect him. Look, I'm not saying the guy can't plan for his death, all right, sure, but why? It's just so like ritualistic and weird, and it seems like it's this thing that's been going for centuries and everything. But
and also the worst thing about all of this is that we specifically know pretty much everything that happened within this Master's timeline.
Pretty much, because there's about like 18 months unaccounted for. But then
he was making that terrible website.
he was doing a lot in those 18 months.
He was getting McFly on the phone to endorse him.
He was getting McFly on the phone. He was situating himself within government to become Prime Minister. He was running an election campaign.
Yeah, but then I suppose when you consider it, and most of an MP's job is showing up one day a week and then being like, what other outside contracts can I make?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's it. Let me just mock trans people in front of this recently bereaved mother of a dead trans girl, because that's what the fucking Prime Minister of this country should do. Rishi Sunak, you absolute fucking cunt.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had a Labour canvasser at my door the other day, and I was in the middle of tidying. And firstly, I got no time for people that come to my door anyway, or you can have the best of intentions. Right?
I think you told this story already.
No, well, I mean, this happened this week, so I'd be surprised
okay.
if I could, unless I can travel in time, like some other people I know from this show. And he came to my door and he was like, "Who are you voting for?" And I was like, "Not the Tories." And he was like, "How likely are you to invite me in so that we can chat?" And I was like, "Not very, mate, I'll be honest."
Was this guy a vampire?
Yeah.
What the fuck? How likely are you to invite me into your home? I cannot cross the threshold unless you invite me in.
Look, I'm sat here like, look, I'll vote late. I'm not happy about it because they are plastic Tories at this point. But I can't have the real thing anymore. I need the
You
Tories
told
gone.
this exact story. Like...
Then it's happened twice.
Okay. All right, weird. Anyway, fucking the whole cult thing. It's just so bad. It's just nothing, isn't it? It's just words. And but none of them mean anything.
So this is my thing with the whole Return of the Master, right?
And we've long joked about this as well. We have long we often just say like the secret books of Saxon. They speak of the potions of life just because it's funny.
But that's all it's for. It's funny.
But it's not supposed to be funny.
I know.
Russell thought it's that that meme where it's like the scroll writing and it's like on fire as it
Yeah.
Russell thought he was doing that with this.
In Confidential, you said it already, but in Confidential he said, like, I've always known this. I've always known how the Master would return.
Bullshit.
And then and he said, writing this came really easy. I'm like, yeah, I can tell it's a first pass. Like, I can tell you didn't revisit it.
Yeah, it does feel like just a first pass and no one just went, maybe take another swing at that one, Chief.
Look, the thing that bothers me about the Master's return is in Doctor Who, you're graced with really only few characters that need no explanation, right? The Daleks and the Master are known to evade death at every corner and always come back in some form of another. The Master ran out of regenerations? No, he didn't. Fuck you, he's here. Yeah,
the Master is one of those glorious characters where you can fully have an on-screen death of him or them. You can have, you can see that character physically die on screen.
Yeah.
And then, 2 or 3 seasons later, someone else can be like, "It's me, the Master." And you're like, yes, I love this. This is great. The Master is back, and it works.
There's a beauty in not knowing.
You don't need to be like, "And this is how I survived, Doctor." It's like, it does not fucking matter. You're a mischievous cunt. You just did mischief, and now you're back, all right? That's all I need.
The Master is a planner, right?
Yes.
There is nothing that, everything that the Doctor does, the Master can do. But the difference is the Master doesn't have any morals, so he'll break lines that the Doctor won't. Right, and he'll cross into boundaries that the Doctor wouldn't explore. So if he's back, or they're back... they're just back. It doesn't need explaining. And if you're going to explain it, come on, man. As a kid, that fucking red fingernail picked up that ring, and I was like, I can't wait for that. And it's a prison warden?
Yeah, it's just some prison warden.
Fucking come on!
Who was just wearing red nail polish for no reason. They really made a sense of that, red nail polish. This
and
is
he's doing it again.
Yeah, and it's the exact same thing. The exact same thing happened.
I don't care this time if it's a prison warden again. And it's also just a prison warden that takes her to another prison warden.
Yes, it means nothing.
She's no one.
Oh my God. Anyway, it's bad, but they need a DNA sample from Lucy. All right. Now, I'm no scientist, okay? Catherine, I am not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I call me fucking crazy. All right.
Something going on
But I
here.
would think if you had been in prison for 2 fucking years, all right, and you had not kissed your dead psychopathic husband in over 2 fucking years, and presumably you had washed and bathed multiple times in that time.
Or just eaten food.
Or just done literally fucking anything.
Licked
Taken
your
a
lips.
drink. Yes, all right. Call me crazy, but I don't think his DNA and somehow your lipstick from those events would still be on your lips. But again, I hold my hands up.
Yeah.
I am not a scientist, okay?
Yeah, look, This is my exact note just says, how long has it been since she washed her mouth?
I know.
Like, I understand she's in a prison, but she's eaten food. She's alive, so she's eaten food and she's drunk water.
She looks well enough. She doesn't look messy or
anything. She doesn't. She's not, like, malnourished. She looks fine.
Yeah.
I mean, she's not having the best day, but look, she's as good as you can hope for being in prison going through, like, secret trials with no jury or something. And also, why any of this? Yeah. What's the secret trial for? You're obviously not obeying the law.
I don't mind the secret trial thing. I kind of see that as like that would be something unit set up because like they don't like no one really knows like what the fuck happened and shit and they can't.
Well, no one knows anything happened really. They just know that there was a prime minister that brought a little beach ball that assassinated the president elect. Yeah,
they're just like, oh, you're under arrest because you killed this man who doesn't exist or whatever. And she did a lot of bad shit, but whatever. Anyway, but somehow she knew about this ritual and was able to counteract it with her own ritual or some shit.
Well, hang on, before we even get that, we actually get the man himself. It's his turn to have a big blue light in the sky.
Yes. Oh, yeah, because Lucy says his name isn't even Harold Saxon. And then that woman, in the most dramatic way possible, goes, and this was written also, for his name is the Master.
Never dying, never dying.
Never die. He's already insane before he's supposed to be insane. You know,
he's always a bit insane, isn't he?
He's always a bit insane, but like they take the insanity off the charts in this episode.
They do,
and he's already just a bit insane before he's even supposed to be. But whatever.
Do you know what? It's John Simmers, the Master. Like, I don't like how it's given to me.
Yeah,
but like his never dying, like all of that ego and that sense of just like. He's in the room, and suddenly he's the only person I'm looking at because he's just he's so good in this role.
Because he's hot,
and he's hot.
He's all right.
He doesn't even have his frosted tips yet.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't have his. I actually quite like the new look, but we'll
I
talk
do
about
too.
It. But anyway, he's back. He's a big blue boy. He's never dying. But then Lucy counteracts it somehow because she's also been planning it. With this guard who has a secret anti-potion to the potion.
Well, she was never very bright, Nathan, by her own declaration.
She tells us that she was never very bright, but
Russell thinks I'm dumb.
Yes, she was never very bright, but she's a nepotism baby, so her family had connections. So she was able to get into the room. And get a secret anti-potion, I guess.
I understand that, like. Also, I take offense to this issue of, like, writing Lucy in general, which is no secret. We had a big old discussion on it with Catherine, like, at end of season 3. But, like...
Not the best, is it?
It's not the best. And the thing that bothers me is, like, Lucy has been shown to be quite a calculating character.
Yes.
Like, someone that's able to get where she is. But, like, yeah, she is abused. And she does, like, she gets... pushed to the corner whenever the Master's in the room, but to get by his side and to gain the Master's trust and to not be one of the few people the Master can be in a room with and not kill.
Yeah.
She's calculating enough. And it's just slightly frustrating that she's like, I'm dumb, but other people that aren't dumb made this for me. Like, there was no reason why she couldn't have gone, what do you think I've been doing in this cell all these years? This is dumb as well, but at least I did it.
It feels quite unnecessary to just be like... I'm stupid, but other people gave me this potion, so...
And luckily for me, I can throw it at you. That's what I've been trusted with, throwing it a metre forward.
Anyway, till death do us part, Harry, and then she blows herself up. So
I like that Lucy knew the whole time. She was like, I knew that you'd come back. I'm like, you seemed pretty surprised a minute ago.
Yeah, exactly. The whole thing, it's like set up as Lucy's like... Don't do this. This is terrible. And it's a big shock and surprise to her. But then she's like, haha, I actually knew this. It's like a really cheesy Sherlock Holmes moment where like, I think there's even like a sketch or a joke about it somewhere. Like, I don't know where it's from, but I have it in my mind. There's like a a joke like about Sherlock and like Moriarty, where like Moriarty is like, I've got you now, Sherlock. Here's this thing, but then Sherlock is like, well, actually, I knew you was going to do this thing, so here's a counteract to that. And then Moriarty's like, well, actually, I knew that you would, and it just goes on and escalates and escalates.
They're just playing hot potato with reveals. Yeah,
exactly. It's kind of just like that, where it doesn't really make sense, but. Whatever, man.
I saw a great Sherlock meme once that was like it was a picture of Benedict Cumberbatch looking really shocked, and it said Sherlock when he figures out the bad guy's name is an anagram for bad guy or something. And he's like rearranges the letters and it's like, oh no.
And he like does them in his mind.
Yeah.
He's like swiping on screen.
Oh man, we've gone on too many rants about that show.
Not on this podcast or any podcast, I don't think. Just in general.
Yeah, I think there is one out there somewhere. I've no idea what show and what episode, but there is definitely a.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, time to So the prison is blown up.
Yes. Everyone's dead, including the master. Ooh.
Oh, but we see him, Nathan. He's on security footage from the most sexually charged father and daughter dynamic ever put to screen.
What's going on here, mate? This is so weird.
They're father and daughter.
Yeah. But
why are they looking at each other like that?
They gave them such weird, like, tension and chemistry between them. And, like, don't get me wrong, like, Martian Manhunter, he plays Martian Manhunter in Supergirl.
Yeah.
He's a very charismatic and handsome man, all right? He's doing good stuff. He's got that rich, timbery voice.
He's got a great voice. Yeah.
It's great. And this girl seems obsessed with Christmas for some reason.
Yeah,
she's like,
she seems obsessed with a few things.
Oh, that would be such a Christmas present. I want this as a Christmas present for me, please.
It's such a strange back and forth between them. Like he's like touching, he's like booping her nose, and he's like, nothing but the best for my little girl. I'm the best daddy in the world, and I'm like, stop all of this. Stop.
This is why the episode is just stuffed with nonsense. Because who the fuck are these characters? And why are they here? All right?
This could have been anything else, yeah.
It's just a vessel so we can have the other shit happen. There is no real reason for these characters to be as involved in this episode as they are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so just... nothing presented.
And they have long scenes as well.
Very long scenes where they say fucking nothing. Just so much.
Anyway, they see on the security footage of the prison blowing up that it's like that shot from Deadpool where there's just a figure, naked figure running out of the flames. That's pretty much what's going on there.
I don't know the show you're talking about, but okay.
Well, all right. Well, then just pretend it was something funny that I said.
All right. Anyway, Wolf's going to the pub. He tells Donna and Sylvia that he's just off for a few down the local.
He's been right shifty about it.
But actually, he's doing a big operation, Lawrence. He's meeting up with the Silver Cloak, and he just basically tells a bunch of old people about the Doctor. Really.
So this is the thing, right? And this is where I said to you before we started recording that there are points that might frustrate you in this episode. Right, because I can fully admit, and for most of this, I think I'm coming around to be on your side, right? This is not a great episode of TV.
Yeah.
And there are some things that are really dumb.
Yeah.
This is one of those things, but I will introduce my first caveat here, that being I don't care. This is great. I love this. The Silver Cloak are amazing.
I don't think it's great, all right? Yeah. I like Wilf, all right?
And that's largely where I'm at.
Yeah, I like Wilf. Wilf is a good bit of fun. Bernard Cribbins, obviously, a great actor who, like, just everyone fell in love with Doctor, which is why he's here, by the way, because, like, just everyone fucking loved this guy. And they're like, oh, let's bring him back because, he's great. Let's make him the companion for the episode. And it is good to see, and it is nice to have this. But I don't like the Silver Cloak. There's like reasons, like, but they come a little bit later, and it just gets confusing. It makes no sense, but but sure, Will, I don't mind Will.
It's just a good group of OAPs, and he's got the retirement bus out.
Yes, I know, and it's just a bit of fun. I don't need to be too critical about this. But, but whatever. Anyway, he's telling them about the Doctor. He says he wears a brown suit, sometimes a blue suit, if only this week. But unfortunately, it's not meant to be. Did he ever wear the blue suit in front of Wilf?
I feel like Sontaran Stratagem, he was wearing it.
Yeah, I think he was actually. Yeah. All right, fair enough.
We know too much about this fucking show. I like Bernard Cribben's performance, but he's got that sticky up hair and he just does this little gesture on his head. Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I have more to say about the Silver Cloak in a bit, but we'll touch that there for now.
Sure.
There's a burger van. All right.
Yeah.
And much like I'm not a scientist, Lawrence.
Yes.
I'm also not a business owner or proprietor of a burger van. Okay.
Yeah.
And if I did have a burger van, I would probably park it somewhere like, that has relatively good foot traffic, or, in a town or a city somewhere.
Yeah.
I wouldn't park it in the middle of a fucking barren wasteland. But hey, again, maybe I'm missing something. What do you think?
I hate to do this to you. It's a charity for the homeless. All right. And
is it? But why are they then charging for the... Wait, is this guy who's like fucking with Ginger, are they homeless?
Yeah. So look, I will say it's really unclear.
Okay.
Because they just feel like two guys at work.
Yeah, that's exactly... Because, like he says, like, fucking... This is Ginger, I even have a note about it. He's down from Huddersfield. So I thought you'd, like, on some fucking work experience thing or some shit. But, no, they're just homeless.
So it's... and you find this out in Confidential as well, more info about it.
This makes some of my other notes seem quite mean.
Oh, no, look. I think there's... Russell certainly does exude this certain view about the homeless in Confidential. I
must have missed this.
Oh, it's not brilliant stuff.
He calls them tramps, doesn't he?
I think that as well, but he's also like the master's down in the dumps with the dirty ones, and it's like, no. Come on, mate, yeah. But look, it is a quarry in Wales, obviously. Yes. As we're better for a final showdown.
It's not a quarry. It's just like an abandoned dock. Really?
Yeah,
it's like
there's a disused warehouse that's abandoned. Yeah,
it's just abandoned, like fucking thing. Obviously, okay. To be fair, I wasn't aware of this. I thought it was just a burger van, just selling burgers, and I guess it makes sense now because I didn't see any money change hands for the burgers. So.
Yeah, and they seem to know each other, and there is a line about and let's not go into this because someone might bring it up later on in a later segment.
Okay. Okay.
There's a specific line about making food last all day.
Yes, and I do have a note about that line. But if you're saving that for a later segment, then I might have to wait. But
I'd appreciate it if you did.
That makes more sense now. But has always been something that struck me as odd. But all right.
It does make more sense. I think it's still criminal. Anyway, so they get themselves a burger. But a hooded figure arrives who is lively on his feet, to say the least, Nathan.
Yeah. We get the reveal of the master being blonde. No. Yeah. He pulls down his hood and he's very hungry. I like the look.
It's a good look.
It's a good look. There's for some reason the blonde, the messy, dirty blondes and the black hoodie and trousers and the messy look. It kind of works for some reason.
I think it does because the last time you see him, he's very put together in his black. Yeah, he's got like a black funeral suit for like both of his appearances, and he's very put together and he's very well groomed. And here he's got a bit of dirty stubble. He's got like a messy bleached blonde that obviously has shown that his body has been through some signs of distress.
Yeah.
I quite like that. I like Russell's point in the Confidential quite a lot about how he has. I don't like particularly how he compared him to like a homeless person, but like he's on the right track with elements of the Master and the Doctor. Used to be this very elegant pairing of gentlemen that were very got together in a manor house and the kind of Sherlock and Moriarty of it all. Like, well, I've done this. Well, I have also done that. And like this very back and forth. And now the Master is just like, he's wearing a hoodie. He hasn't shaved. He's got nothing other than this burger. I like the look.
Yeah, I got to skip over this next note because of reasons we just talked about. But yeah, the master is dropping it and he's fucking going to town on this burger. He's just absolutely demolishing it because he's starving. And then we get a bit of another thing we've often repeated and made fun of quite a bit is when he just goes, pork and beef and fat and cheesy chips and gravy and meat and hot red meat and all this sort of stuff.
This is my next moment, right? This scene's terrible, but I love it. It's so good.
It's terrible, all right. Look, it's good because John Sim sells it, all right?
Yeah, he really does. And it's impossible to sell this.
Yeah, John Sim puts everything into it. He really fucking goes in and, like, wiping the fucking burger wrapper over his face and covering himself in the grease. And he's like, doctor, don't smell me. Doctor, get rid of the smell. And he's like,
pork and
really
beef and fat and grease and hot, sticky fat.
He's really committing to this just fucking insane version of this really feral, just fucking completely insane version of the Master, which is, and it is good. He does a good performance of it. Whether or not the character is good and whether or not it makes sense is another story. But he does a good performance of it, though. Yeah. So I will say that. Yeah.
I also quite like that. Like it's set off by Ginger, who has been told by this other guy, right?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, he doesn't talk much. And the one fucking thing he says sets off this lunatic. Like, it's just like, you couldn't have shut up for 2 more minutes, mate.
So Ginger recognizes him. He's like, oh, you look like that bloke. Yeah. And Master has a good chuckle about it. He's like, haha, isn't that funny? I do like that he does this weird little thing with his hands where he goes, a master of disguise, and he waves his hand over his face, and that's been a thing about the Master. We haven't really had the sense of that in the revival era, but he's often like putting on costumes and hiding himself, and he is like a master of disguise, and you know, some of that does come later down the line and stuff, but he's often like hiding and tricking and pretending to be like a friend to the Doctor or someone, and he's like, haha, it's me actually. And he's
the
always
one time he
with
makes
it.
this like public declaration of who he is, it just like the Master always is known for, he's his own worst enemy. It just bites him in the arse, and he's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I can't go anywhere now.
He's such a mischievous little boy, and it's good fun. But yes, he's been snuffed out. He's stuck looking like the old Prime Minister, and he's a big skeleton boy as well now.
He is. He's skeletal.
It looks like shit. It's and I think I figured out what's wrong with it. I think I figured out why it's like when he goes X-ray mode and why he fucking looks like that, why it looks so bad.
Yeah.
I think it's the eyes.
It's definitely the eyes.
It's the eyes. It's because the eyes, we go from seeing like John Sim's eyes, and then we get the full round eyeball as he goes full skeletal mode. And it just looks wrong. They should have like made the eyes like blackened them out or done something weird or something.
Or just keep John Sim's eyes. Track John Sim's eyes onto this design.
Yeah.
Because those are his eyes. His eyes don't look different.
The eyes just do not make it work at all. It looks really bad.
I've always been forgiving of the design of it, mainly because I really like this grotesque sound effect that comes with it. This kind of every time he changes, it's just like it feels painful.
Dinner time is very funny.
Yeah, it's just funny, isn't it?
it's and they fly now? Question mark.
They fly now.
They fly now.
I guess. I mean, like
it's more jumping, isn't it?
It's jumping. It's the early concept of Superman. He can leap tall buildings in a single bound. Like it's. I mean, this is all wrong, right? Because the concept this has come about because of this acute mixture of the potions of life and also the potions of death.
Yes,
and that's resulted in him having electricity powers.
He's somehow dying and like on his last like sort of like breath, but also more powerful than he's ever been at the same time.
Yes,
you know? It's like a weird concoction of both.
It really is, and it feels like he needs to eat people. As we see, the charity van worker has been completely like like he's picked the roast chicken and the burger and everything else. Like it's every bit of meat is gone.
So I did have a note that like I said, so I guess he's a cannibal now, but then I was like, but is he technically, because it's a different species, so it's not technically cannibalism.
No, I guess not. We eat chickens. We're not cannibals. Yeah.
So, but still,
it's definitely strange.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
Maybe we should realign. We should take a look at ourselves, Nathan.
Maybe we should. Yeah. But yeah, he's just straight up eating people now. So there we go.
And that's fine. He's having fun, right? Like,
well, I don't know if it's fine, but
I like it because he's going crazy, right? And he's got all these neck veins popping out.
Yes.
And it's screaming dinner time.
Again, dinner time is very funny. But...
Could the Doctor and the Master have always sniffed each other out?
Well,
because there's a lot of emphasis on them sniffing each other out.
So going back to series 1, okay.
Yeah.
The Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, tells Rose, and at the end of the world, I think it is, that his planet's gone and that he's the last of the Time Lords.
Yeah.
And Rose says, there might be others out there, and the Doctor says, "No, I'd know in here." He says, like he would know. And then in the Sound of Drums, I think it is, or whatever, at the end of series 3, the 10th Doctor mentions that as soon as he sees the Master, he'll know who he is.
Yeah.
There's always been this sense of Time Lords being able to recognize each other.
And species-wise, that makes sense because of the regeneration aspect. Like,
yes, exactly. But it's just kind of evolved to this sniffing thing now, I guess.
Which I think is the most juvenile way of dumbing it down. Like, I can sniff you out.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be able to, like, cloak your scent. I understand they're going for this feral dog master type thing. That is very visceral and very, like, I can sniff the Doctor down. But then the Doctor's sniffing him back down, and I'm like...
We do get then a lot of shots of 10 just, like, standing in an abandoned dock, just having a good sniff about...
And this is my thing. This is the thing with this next scene, right? They just look like stray dogs looking at each other from a distance.
They kind of do,
And they're just kind of there.
Or like cats when they just stare at each other and they're not quite sure.
Neither animal wants to make a move, right? Like, my dog...
And then one of them does that thing where they're, like, back arches. Just, like, staring at the other one. Just ready to, like, I'm not sure what's going on here, but I don't like it.
And it is kind of that, right? It's just them looking at each other. And then the Master goes,
But before they do the cats looking at each other, I don't know if you picked up on the subtlety of this, Lawrence.
Okay.
But the Master, he bangs an oil drum 4 times, okay? But, Lawrence, not only does he bang it 4 times, he bangs that. He does that 4 times, all right? He bangs the oil drum 4 times, and then he does that 4 times. So 16 in total. 4 or 4. Do you get it?
I get it, Nathan. Yeah.
It's so. Because we was told, Lawrence, I don't know if you know, but we was given a prophecy, all right, that he will knock 4 times, okay?
Look, never before has a vague prophecy wanted me to believe something that I don't believe so much.
Okay.
Because I'm like, it's not going to be this, though, is it? Like, it's just...
Well, we don't know.
No, I guess we don't. Look.
To be fair, when we did get the prophecy of 4 times, and I remember this very clearly, everyone instantly went, the Master.
Yeah, because of the Archangel network. Yeah.
Exactly, because of the drumming, yeah.
So I would have really preferred it if they had lent into the Master Misdirect earlier, and the 4 knocks we always hear were always in that quick succession of da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da.
I don't know what you mean by misdirect.
Well, oh yes, my apology.
Yeah. I'm going to keep that one shut.
Look, I just think... Never mind. Anyway, isn't the Doctor a sight for sore eyes, Nathan? Says Wilf. Until the Doctor basically punches him in the face and is like, get out of the fucking way.
Yeah, so the Doctor's chasing the Master, but then he gets interrupted by Wilf and he just like shoves past
He's
him.
like, move!
He's like, get out of my way!
That's an old man.
As an old man. And here's some criticisms of the Silver Cloak for you.
Yeah.
This scene makes no fucking sense, all right? And just one specific part of it, really.
Okay.
Because, like, they find the Doctor, and clearly they've all come there together to find the Doctor. So they've all been together whilst looking for the Doctor.
Yeah.
But then for some reason, fucking Minnie the Menace feels it necessary to explain the process of how they all got there to them, all right? And I've written it down verbatim, all right?
Please.
She says, the Silver Cloak, it worked, because Wilf phoned Betty, who phoned June, and her sister lives opposite Broadfell, and she saw the police box, and her neighbour saw this man heading east. All right, we all know. We was fucking with you. Okay?
Also, I quite like...
Russell, look at your script just once before you submit it, please. I beg of you.
Do you know how big East London is?
I know, it's fucking huge.
Fucking massive.
Oh my, it's clearly, right? It's so very clearly just exposition for the audience as to how the group found the Doctor. But it's just so lazily delivered. It's not even looked at again. It's like, yeah, that'll do. Doesn't make any sense, but whatever.
It's the worst version of what I used to love about Russell's writing, because Jackie was always doing shit like this. Jackie was always being like, and you know my mate Tony from down the shops, he said to this person that said to that person, the blah, blah, blah. Jackie was always on that shit, but it was really funny, because I just think the way Jackie delivers it was brilliant.
Even with Jackie, it wasn't delivered somewhat to someone who already knew all about that and was there with Jackie for the entire time that happened. That's like me and you walking to the shops, coming back and seeing someone else, and then me saying to you, we just walked to the shops and now we've seen this person. You true. Fucking know that. You've been there with me. Anyway.
What you make of the randiest old bitch you ever did see, Nathan?
Hate it.
She's so horny.
Hate it. Can't tell you. I have a note here. Everyone thinks the Doctor is hot. That's a bit of fun. Don't mind that.
Yeah,
a bit of fun. Everyone loves David Tennant because he's very hot. It's that classic. Oh, you're so sexy, David Tennant. Once again. But then Minnie gropes him, and I'm like, oh. The
scene in a vacuum is actually the most and the closest version of the meme flirting versus harassment we've ever got.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's that. You know, they're like, oh, you didn't tell me he was handsome. It's been a while since I've had a photo with a handsome man. And I like that.
That's fine. Yeah, do that. Leave it there.
Yeah.
Why do we need to have Minnie grope him?
Loads of grannies say stuff like that. Like, oh, he's handsome, isn't he? Like, they love a bit of that.
You go to any function with your family, and then there's all these old ladies there, and I tell you what, as a young handsome boy, nothing filled my ego more than a bunch of old ladies being like, "Oh, he's growing, he's so big, and he's handsome
yes, look
boy.
At these muscles, ladies."
I'm like, yes, look at me.
Behold my majesty in my divine presence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't need the grope. Just.
Yeah, you just straight up don't need it, do you?
Yeah, just adds nothing.
Yeah.
And also, David Tennant's reaction is like...
Calm down, mate.
It's... No, I think it's fair, but, like, it's one of those things where, like... I don't know how to critique this, but, like... It's like he wanted to do a stereotypical Doctor reaction, but if you think about it, it doesn't really make sense because he's like it's just the way he's like, is that your hand, Minnie? Because like you already know, but then you're playing it as if she's touched you on hand, you know?
Oh, I see. Yeah. I guess that makes sense.
You see? Yeah, but like whatever, that's nothing. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, look, it's not a great little tidbit in the scene anyway.
No.
Just for the nature of like, it's not funny. It's not that funny.
Yeah, and you know, whatever, 2009. But I like to think we're a bit beyond like writing, just groping people as a joke.
I also like. I there's a part of me that does hold Russell to a higher standard because he's shown he's very capable of this stuff in an earlier time setting. Like
where? What do you mean?
Like he's always been very vocal about liking being forward-thinking and quite progressive. And like you're even seeing that now with the return of his era.
Yeah, but not really in this era.
I think there's been some ideas. I can't remember any specifically, but
for the time, yes.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, we're in a different time now.
Yeah, for that time, like what the little bits that we got, I suppose, were like welcome.
Yeah, I mean, look at like the first 3 episodes of Torchwood, which, to be fair, I don't think he wrote. Did he write Torchwood?
He definitely had a hand in it. Yeah.
Yeah. But some crook stuff in that.
There's some very. Who will Gwen Cooper sleep with today?
Who will Owen sexually assault today?
Oh yeah! Oh god, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Anyway,
and ultimately, as it always comes down to a Torchwood, who will be shot in the head today?
Yeah.
All right, we get to. I presume this is the scene that you like the most. Yeah.
The cafe scene is the one good scene in the episode. And it's because it's not overstuffed with nonsense, you know?
And it birthed the meme, I'm going to die.
I have that note. It's a good, just the out of nowhere. It's a good 10 seconds of silence and then I'm going to die. Which is it's the silence that sells it.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right, so this is the shining light. This is the light in the dark of this episode. Why do you like this scene?
Yeah, this is the jewel in the pile of shit. Just because it's good, and as I said, it's not overstuffed with nonsense. It's just very simple. It's just Wilf and Ten at a table, just having a conversation about the fact that, and Ten actually being open and vulnerable for once, and actually talking about the fact that he is going to die and how he's actually quite fucking scared of that, and and how he's talking about his fears of regeneration, that it's not quite dying, but it's just as good as, because everything you are just perishes and then some new bloke goes sauntering away, and all this sort of stuff, which is quite an interesting way to think about it, really.
I love the idea of and I know the later episodes come to address this, but I do quite like that this is one of the few Doctors that really does view it in a way that I think is quite, and maybe it's his affection for humanity and how much time this Doctor in this era has spent on Earth with humans. Yeah. That there is a fear there, right? And there's almost a resentment and a jealousy for whoever the next Doctor is. David Morrissey, but no. There's absolutely this part of him that is jealous that he's not going to be the one at the wheel. Yeah. And I quite like that. Like, dying and regeneration are one in the same. It doesn't matter that he will continue to live in some form of another. It will be a different life, and it won't be Ten's life.
I have mixed feelings on that concept. I have mixed feelings on the idea that Ten is jealous about what's to come, and that feeds into the regeneration scene itself, which obviously we won't talk about until next week. Yeah. But when he becomes David Morrissey. But there's, I don't know. Ten's regeneration is an odd one for me, and this is a conversation. I feel like next week is where it will get heated. Yeah, we'll get into that next week, but I have thoughts. Let's say. Okay. Donna is back, kind of. Yeah. Well, she's back. She's here. It's good to see her. Yeah. Just giving the parking attendant attitude, basically. As she should. Yeah, because they contribute absolutely nothing to society. Yeah.
Professional snitches. What a bunch of fucking losers.
I can just imagine someone listening to this getting ready for work because their job is a parking attendant. And be like,
well, don't show up. Do us all a favour. Stay home.
Lawrence.
Sorry. No, I understand some people just need... There's a job. It's a job, isn't it? A job needs to... It's the people that created the job of parking attendant that fuck me off. Yeah. Go make your money. But at the same time, there must be a small part of those people that have to understand, it's just the most irritating thing on the planet.
I'm going to get you out of this hole that you're digging by moving on. She's now engaged to Sean. We see Sean for the first time, a young boy.
It's kind of a nothing guy yet.
Well, yeah, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah. My affection for Sean comes later, so it's hard to talk about Sean.
Lawrence, I don't know what you mean. This is the only time we ever see Sean.
Oh, yes, okay? My mistake. Oh, no, we do see him next week.
Well, we see the Master next week. Yeah. I don't know what you mean.
I thought this was funny, right? Because they speak about how like Wilf was saying the whole reason Wilf has gone to this cafe was to bring the Doctor there.
He's pulled a fast one.
He has, which is quite sneaky of Wilf.
Will they get to the cafe and the Doctor's like, we passed like 10 cafes on the way. What's so special about this
He's
one?
Like, off we go.
And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Let's go get a coffee.
He does this Wilf thing of just like being like, just not saying anything.
Yeah.
I like this, right? But like, I don't know, right? Because Wilf is essentially Donna's father. He is her father figure.
Kind of funny how last week we said next week's definitely going to be shorter, and we're at an hour and a half, and we're not even close to the end.
No. Look, all right, we're about halfway through the episode, and then we'll do the letters. Yeah. I think it's ruthless to hear. Essentially, if Sean had heard this, right, your father-in-law figure, right, because that's what Wilf is to Sean, right, his like stand-in father-in-law, to refer to your marriage with Donna as Donna making do.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, I see what you're saying, but he is nice to Sean, like he is saying like he's sweet enough and stuff, and I think he's more just talking about her situation in general. I don't think he's necessarily saying like Sean is some consolation prize to the Doctor or anything.
Well, the Doctor was never a romantic prospect.
Well, never. It was never a thing between the two. It was joked about a lot, and they were like, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Mr. and Mrs. Doctor, and they're like, whoa,
slow the fuck down there.
Hold your fucking horses, sunshine. Absolutely not. But no, I like Sean. He's a nice bloke, and reasons.
Any
nice.
particular thoughts on both of them scraping by and making minimum wage, but able to afford a flat in London?
Well, you that's fine. I reckon
it's not possible, but
2009 is.
I guess so. Yeah.
The fucking housing market, the fucking rental fucking thing wasn't as fucked up as it is today as it was back then.
Yeah. And by fucked up, you mean untenable. Like
and completely impossible unless you're a fucking millionaire.
Yeah. I worked really hard and my parents only gave me 20 grand.
Yeah. But you and your partner had a flat in London when you wasn't earning very much.
I guess this is outside of the central London.
Yeah, it's not central. It's probably they got probably somewhere in like fucking Chiswick or like fucking East London or something. Like I rented a room in London, and like the room I rented was £200 more than I pay in rent for my whole flat now.
Jesus.
But like,
and some years ago too.
And some years ago, yeah. But like it was manageable. But
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, what a test of the times. what an indictment of the future.
Yeah.
All right. So what's going on next? Oh no, I quite like in this scene that you've got the pairing of Bernard Cribbins, and like people have wanted to see Wilf jump along in for a while to kind of be alongside the Doctor in an adventure. And I think this scene exemplifies why. Right, it's just two people. They're both on the verge of tears for various personal tragedies that they're affected by, and they're just able to connect with each other in a way that, like, the Doctor. It's so strange because, and this comes up again, not today but next week. But like, there is this element of the Doctor is a much older man than Wilf, but Wilf is absolutely a surrogate father figure to the Doctor, just a wiser man than this ancient being. And Bernard Cribbins says it in Confidential as well, that he is quite protective of him. He wants to see this man that did so well by his granddaughter be treated fairly and get a good run at it.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. Just these two people it's a great performance from both of them, and they're both just wet eyes the entire scene.
Yeah. No, it is a good scene. Like I say, the best scene by a country mile in the episode. Like, don't get me wrong, it does not have much competition, but that's not a discredit to the scene. Like it is good regardless of the episode itself. It's good. But we move on. The Timothy Dalton narration is back, But it's completely meaningless. It's just saying nothing.
It feels like the end of the episode.
It does, but it doesn't go. It's like it's like summarizing events. It's like, and this person was getting ready for Christmas Day, and the madman was in his wasteland, followed by the Protector, and he's nothing though, isn't it?
You know the beginning of one of the Ted movies where Patrick Stewart is like, unless you have an Apache helicopter.
Yes.
It's like that.
Love is the most powerful thing in the world, unless you have an Apache helicopter.
But I understand why it's there, because they didn't have a scene to bridge the gap between it being Christmas Eve and Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Right? Because the last scene that they required to film... the last scene that they're required to film on Christmas Eve is a daytime scene.
Yeah.
So then...
we need to bridge that gap somehow.
Yeah, because if you just if you then just go, it's Christmas Day, that's weird for the audience. So like, hang on.
But also, well, not necessarily, because we do get a bit of a nighttime scene coming up.
So this is just in the wrong place then.
Yeah, but also, it's funny to think about when you think about what's going on with Timothy Dalton's character, because he's doing like this dramatic read, and this is the first time we see his face. The camera shows us his face this time. We don't get the full look, but it's like a close up on his face.
We get a little vibe. We get a little
vibe. You see a hint of a red regal robe, as it were. But
we think we know. Do we know?
Well, I don't think anyone knew at this point.
No,
and if they did, they're lying.
I like the black background is very like he's on the set of Hot Ones. Like, I'm Timothy Dalton, and I'm here to have some hot wings.
Da bomb, you say?
And so it was on the dawn of the chicken.
It's got quite a kick to it, I must say. But yeah, it's quite funny to think about when we get the reveal later in the episode of what who Timothy Dalton is actually talking to and what's going on. Is he just giving some dramatic reading to? Well, the time also in the episode, the Time Lords. He's a Time Lord. He's talking to the Time Lords. He's like talking to a big hall of Time Lords, a big like fucking gathering or whatever, a big assembly of Time Lords. Yeah. But is he just giving them all this dramatic reading of events?
It's the most boring class assembly ever. Yeah. Like,
and everyone's just watching Timothy Dalton be like, the king is in his counting house, getting ready for events that he does not know are unfolding, and all the Time Lords are just like, fuck is this guy talking about?
I would love a cutaway to a Time Lord checking his watch. Just his regular Earth watch.
But he's a Time Lord, so he's got like 7 different watches.
Or he opens his pocket watch.
Oh, yes.
He's like, fucking hell, I'm tempted to put my memory in this just so I can get past this shit. I like the idea that he sits there for 20 minutes in silence as well, so that the episode can play out, and then he just picks it right back up again.
Yeah, I know that too. Anyway, the Master has Sith lightning now, I guess.
Yeah, and cool guys don't look at explosions.
Cool guys do not look at explosions. I have a note here that says, Ten is just walking towards him slowly and dramatically, and then gets blasted and is quite clearly badly hurt. And like, my brother in Christ, what were you expecting? You decided to do this big, dramatic, cool guy walk, but then you just got shot.
Just run at him and give him a swift fucking, like, chin or something.
This is like the equivalent of, like, fucking, I don't know, like John Wick just, like, walking into a club or something, and there's, like, fucking, like, you know, people are shooting at him, but he's just not dodging, but they're still missing him somehow.
Yeah.
But then he just gets shot in the chest and just falls down, which, to be honest, could happen in a John Wick movie and would be quite funny.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just seems weird that they're like, big cool guy dramatic moment. Cool guys don't look at Oh no, he's been shot actually.
Well, look, this was around the time of the heyday of the BBC trailer maker. Right, the BBC Doctor Who.
You better believe these clips were all over this.
But
trailer.
That's why. I mean, not for that, but they're there for trailer cool looking purposes, so that they could get a few. Because let's face it, there's not much else happens in this episode, right? So they need a shot of the 10th Doctor.
The whole thing was unnecessary. Really.
I mean, it could be that, yeah. But they needed something for the Christmas. You know, the idents, the Christmas Day idents. That this would have definitely been playing. And don't forget to tune in your TV sets later on to see the Doctor. It's the
no. We had this. This was the year of we had the special idents, the ones that were the Doctor Who themed BBC One idents, where it's because BBC they usually did like special idents where it'd be like, oh, it's a bunch of snowmen making a big 0 because it's or a big O for the 1 in BBC One.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But this year, because it was David Tennant's last Doctor Who, they did a special Doctor Who one, and you might have seen clips of it. It's like the Doctor finding the TARDIS in the snow, and then he like attaches some reindeer to it and flies it like a sleigh.
I have seen this. Yeah.
It's that one.
That activated a core memory for me that I didn't know I still had somewhere right in the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. In that case, then there's no excuse for this.
Yeah.
All right, so the Doctor is obviously shot and hurt.
Yeah, and he's wounded.
He's stumbling around.
And speaking of suit talk,
yes,
his little shirt and t-shirt gets singed open. He's got like a hole in his chest now or whatever.
Did you notice this until Confidential?
Exactly. Yeah, I never noticed this before until there's shots of David Tennant in Confidential, and you can see it very clearly.
Yeah. And it's the way it looks really goofy because he's still got that weird like Seinfeld open collar.
Yeah,
it just looks stupid.
Obviously, they can't damage the suit yet because they still need it.
Yes.
But the undershirt and the t-shirt, they're like, yeah, let's give that a bit of damage. But it does look quite weird.
It looks weird, and it goes largely unnoticed.
It does, given the fact that neither of us noticed it until we watched the behind the scenes.
I was watching Confidential yesterday, and I just kind of leant forward, and I was like, what? Oh, I guess because he got shot, but all right.
Yeah, makes sense.
I do like the conversation between them here, though.
I do too. We find out a bit of lore about the Master. You find out he's a little rich boy. Yes. He was a little rich boy on Gallifrey. He was like, I had estates. Do you remember my father's land and the great pastures of red grass and all this sort of stuff?
Well, you remember back to his flashback, his looking into the untempered schism.
Yeah, right. That little boy.
He looks like a little posho.
He does look like a little posho.
With his bowl haircut.
He's one of your mates who you went to school with.
No.
Your little private school where you all went to Lorimer's and got all your toys together.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
My next note just says he's talking about food again, so I guess he was doing more pork and beef and fat. Oh, this is the one where he like really broke down doing it, where he was like, hot meat gravy, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine.
I do find that moment funny when the Doctor he does his stop it, and it's like I wouldn't even like. He's gonna carry on. Like let's just let it sit there. Let this run its course. Let him like a toddler. Let him tire himself out.
I kind of like that the Doctor's like stop it though, because it's like it's insufferable to him. Like he can't stand it. He can't stand hearing him just be insane and just break down in this weird way. Yeah.
I quite like that he says the Doctor's trying to get the Master on side and being like, it's not just you, something else is returning. Oh, there you go. He goes, something's returning, and the Master goes like, he says like, ta-da, or here I am. Yeah. And I do like that his ego just refuses to acknowledge that anything else could be crashing his party, like his return.
Yeah. It's obviously about him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, conversations for next week. But
we get the knocking.
We get the drumming. We get the drumming. Yes, because he talks about like how the drumming is driving him mad or whatever, and the Doctor's like, it's in your head. It's always just been in your head, and then he actually fucking does the psychic connection and listens to him. And to be fair, I do like this moment. I do like how much it terrifies the Doctor when he hears it. Because, like, he does the connection, he hears the drums, and then he just instantly lets go. And he's like, what the fuck? Like, and then he has that, like, that great acting from David Tennant in that, like, terrified and confused look on his face, which he does now and then.
The Midnight Special.
the midnight special, yeah, where he's just like, he's horrified at what he's just heard, but then the vindication of the master as well, just
it's
like,
real.
yeah, that like something he thought was just his own insanity for years, but then the actual vindication of finding out it is real. It's a good moment until he flies away like fucking Superman or whatever. But
this leads to my fucking I think it's unironically, and I don't think it's intended to be, but it's such a funny moment in the episode, right?
Yeah.
And I think Russell thought that it would be like a good joke, but I think it's funny because of the joke not working and just making him look ludicrous, right? Where the master goes, "You thought I was mad all these years?" And then he fist pumps the air and goes, "King of the wasteland." And I'm like, you're not exactly disproving it. Like he goes, "You thought I was mad all these years?" And like, it is his moment. It is his moment of, no, they made me suffer.
Yeah.
Like I am the way I am, not because of me. It's not my fault that I'm this deranged.
Yeah.
And then he calls himself King of the Wasteland. King of the Welsh Quarry.
It's not a quarry.
No, but it may as well be. No?
It's a dock or whatever. Fake helicopter steals the master.
SEAL Team 6 arrive.
Yeah.
Captain Price and SAS. They abseil down.
To be fair, this helicopter was done very well.
Right. This is amazing.
This is really good. There's a whole bit in Confidential about how they couldn't afford the helicopter because, budget or whatever.
Right, so before you move on, I never have I laughed harder, right, in a Doctor Who Confidential, was when it's Russell and, is it Julie Gardner, the producer?
Yeah.
And she Russell and them, it's cutting back and forth from their talking heads, and Russell's like, I wrote this on the screen, and it's something that is hard to put into practice, and it's, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of, I figured we've engineered faker moments than this and made it look believable. We can get this done. And Julie Gardner's there, kind of waxing all this lyrical about how it's going to be such a tough feat. Right, and then it cuts to like a stunt coordinator, and he's like, "So we have to fake the helicopter because they run out of money." And it's just so abrupt. Just cut all of the bullshit straight down the line. He's like, "Yeah, but the budget's not big, so."
It's quite funny because like Russell's the one who like has all these big ideas and like, but he doesn't have to worry about bringing them to life. It's like he just fucking puts pen to paper and sees what happens. But then Julie Gardner is the one who has to be like, right, well, how the fuck do we actually put this on the screen? She's the one who has to deal with all this bullshit and actually try fucking make something of it.
There's this fun moment where she's like Russell wrote the word helicopter on screen and she just gets a headache. Yeah. You can see that in describing it, she's like, fuck, yeah. Helicopter.
Anyway, they fake the helicopter and it's when you like just hear how it sounds so shit.
Yeah,
it genuinely works. They put 2 floodlights and a bit of wood on some crane. That's it. But it fucking works though as well.
It does. That's the thing. It works. It's believable, and they capture shots with the camera on the crane. The shot of the helicopter flying away and leaving 10 like lying there. These are good shots.
Good. Yeah, it's well done.
Yeah. Like the ingenuity of Confidential is brilliant, I think.
Hats off to Euros and the crew and everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so what comes up next? Obviously in the episode itself, the master has been taken off.
I'll tell you exactly what comes up next, Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
It's Slade's Merry Christmas, everyone. is playing whilst the Noble family open Christmas presents. Because, Lawrence, I ask you,
yes,
how else would you know that it's Christmas unless Slade's Merry Christmas was playing on the radio?
Is it the same pilot fish outfits as well? The Santas with their trombones?
What are you on about?
I thought they were there. Are they not there?
In Donna's house?
No. There's like a quick It's Christmas Day establishing market thing. I swear there was.
No?
You're going to have to go to the tape for me. I'm sure.
At the beginning of the episode, yes, when Wilf is in the street.
Oh, it might have been then. Yeah, I might have confused the two. Yeah. All right, sorry.
All right.
This episode's a mess.
Your mind's a mess. We were talking about a scene set in Donna's house, and you were like, oh, yeah, and that choir's there or whatever.
No, but I thought it was the establishing for It's Now Christmas Day.
No, Lawrence, the only way you know it's Christmas Day is when Slade's Merry Christmas is playing. We've established this. This is long-established Doctor Who lore.
So where are we at then? Ever
since fucking Mickey was in that mechanical garage, all right? That's how we know it's Christmas Day, all right? That's the only possible way to communicate that it is Christmas.
Where are we at? Are we owed one, or have they surpassed their quota? Because they did 2 on Turn Left, didn't they?
They did 2 on Turn Left,
yeah.
But there was none for the next Doctor because it's a period piece. So
yeah,
wouldn't make sense to have it. The only way you know it's Christmas Day is in a period piece is when you have the Doctor ask an urchin orphan boy, "You there, boy? What day is it?" And he'll go, "Why, it's Christmas Day, sir." That's the only way you know, right?
So we're technically one over.
We're at quota, all right?
Okay,
because
right.
we was owed. We had a surplus with Turn Left, but we spent that surplus on the next Doctor. Okay,
I see.
So we're at quota, and next week technically not a Christmas special. So
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So yeah.
Huh. But then if we count the Turn Left surplus, which also wasn't a Christmas special.
What do you mean?
So next week we could be on thin ice if they play it.
Actually, no, I think we might already be on thin ice because Turn Left had 2. So, but that itself wasn't a Christmas special. So, no, we're still in the surplus. We still have a +1.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So there we go.
All right, well then I guess it's fair game.
Yeah.
All right. Wilf is doing his absolute best your dad impression.
Come on. He's a soldier.
I know. Look, I'm not. There's no criticism. He's a man who respects and stands for the Queen's speech.
Yeah. He's he does love the Queen's speech.
Well, he did,
but he doesn't get to watch the Queen's speech though
because she's dead. Well, she's not speaking, is she?
Fucking hell.
Well, she is.
I know.
They're not fucking throwing her bones on the telly, are they? In front of a nice fireplace.
Yeah, but this is 2009, Lauren. She was very much alive.
All right, go on.
Oh,
sorry,
he's
not allowed to watch the Queen's speech.
No, he's not. He is. Everyone's like, come on, everyone, let's all watch the Queen's speech, and everyone's just like, no, we'll just stay here and have some drinks.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Yeah. But no, it's not the Queen. It's the mysterious woman. She's back.
Is she still in her smart white business suit?
Yeah, she's still in her white little pantsuit or whatever.
Yeah.
But it seems like only Wilf can see her though.
Hillary Clinton chic.
Great, well done. They talk through the TV. Here's something I do like. I do like that she calls out that he's a soldier, but he never killed anyone. And then Wilf says to her, "Don't say that like it's shameful." I like that.
Yeah, that's the perfect embodiment of who Wilf and by extension the Doctor should be.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the ethos of the show. It's
100%.
Fight the good fight on the right side, but raising a gun will just it makes you a hypocrite, basically.
And being a soldier doesn't mean you have to kill people. No. Doesn't mean you have to be that person. There's more to it than just killing people.
I agree. Unless you're playing Call of Duty.
Unless you're my dad, where he exclusively just kills people. That's weird.
Strike that from the record.
Yeah. But anyway, Wilf gets his gat from under the bed. He goes and gets his piece.
Yeah. Oh, but he's not allowed to tell the Doctor. The Doctor still might live if Wilf keeps this quiet.
Yeah. Anyway.
And Donna gives him a book about the Martian
Manhunter's book. Yeah.
Anyway, we had to just do that. All right.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. Don't worry.
I do like that he runs upstairs to get his gat, and he opens the window, and the Doctor looks like he's like, should I approach the house?
Yeah.
Like he's kind of almost like he's the Doctor is 5 minutes away from throwing pebbles at the window.
Yeah, just hoping that it's Wilf's window as well.
Park the TARDIS round the corner, you moron.
You ever thrown pebbles at a window and not been quite sure whose window it is?
I no, I don't think I have. No,
I have. It's a risky game.
I remembered another story which I'll tell you off air.
Okay. Little sizzle.
Do you want me to tell you? I'll forget. Do you want me to tell you now? You can cut it.
Yeah, go on. All right, I've cut that. That is genuinely one of the worst things I've ever heard. You deserve to be locked up.
I didn't do it.
I know, but still, by association, that's horrible.
Right, for clarification, because you'll have no context, right? No one was harassed, right? Nothing untoward happened.
Well...
No, but not harassed in that sense. Don't make me sound bad.
No, it was nothing. No sex crimes were committed. No. My God. Anyway, fucking hell. Right, the Doctor is awake. But he's had a change of clothes since his shirt was ruined. He's put on another shirt and a tie now. He's smartened up for his death, I guess.
Yeah. He's put on the OG outfit.
The OG outfit, yeah, he has. Here's a dialogue exchange I like. When Wilf shows him the book, the Martian Manhunter book, the Doctor goes, "Oh, I was shown him by the Ood. By the what? By the Ood. What's the Ood? Oh, they're just the Ood." I like that. That's a funny exchange. I quite enjoy that.
It is fun. The Doctor also doesn't want to acknowledge that they were once slaves and he had a hand in it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about
he could tell them about the Dr. Donna and how they freed the slaves. But...
Never asked the Doctor what he was doing in the year something.
Never asked the Doctor where he was January. Dr. Donna's still fighting for them with the Martian Manhunter book.
I quite like that. It's messy.
Yeah. It's messy, but yeah,
I like the sentiment. Yeah.
Sylvia's shouting at thin air.
Good fun.
Fine.
Right. I quite like Donna. Donna's going around. It's a bit slapstick. They're out one door. It's a bit Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
They're running out one door. Donna's coming out the other. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they have to hide the Doctor from Donna because otherwise she'll immediately die as soon as she'll just drop to the floor as soon as she just lays eyes on him. But
I quite like Donna going, "We're a bit old for hide and seek."
Yeah, good bit of fun.
Yeah.
But Wilf is on board the TARDIS now. They escape Sylvia. He's not staying at home with Sylvia, but instead the two boys are on the TARDIS. And I tell you what, Wilf is based. Wilf is based. I bet as soon as this line come up, you'd be like, "Fucking no, Nathan, I'll be clocking onto this."
No, right. This is something I need to clarify before this TARDIS is gone and I lose my opportunity and I just sound bitter.
Let me just say, Wilf is based because he too does not like the TARDIS. He says, "I thought it'd be cleaner."
Look,
and he's right. It's gross.
I have never once argued against the fact that this TARDIS is gross and does look like it smells. Right?
Gross.
I have never said it's a clean, tidy TARDIS. I just think it's very fitting for a man who has very much not been looking after himself for a good couple of years. It's a fitting and I also I'm done apologizing for it. There are certain flying this TARDIS scenes where it just looks cool. It looks like a hokey pokey rattly around spaceship.
No, you're 100% wrong with that one. There's nothing to the flying scenes, especially this late in the game. Right? It's just all shots of 10 where you cannot see what his hands are doing.
Nah,
right?
Love it.
It's just all above the wrist action, quite literally. Right? Because otherwise, we'll see that he's actually just doing nothing, really.
Yes.
But no, Wilf doesn't like the TARDIS because it's gross. And look, to your point, when you say that like it fits the character, sure, but that doesn't make it good. Okay,
I just love the design of it. I
cannot.
I think it feels the most organic. This is as alive as the TARDIS has ever looked to me.
No, it's bad.
Okay.
It doesn't even look alive.
I think it does.
It's felt, to me, it feels so much more alive in later iterations of it.
I think that's just because it beeps more and it whirs around more and stuff.
It's done well. It really brings a sense of life to it, other than just having, there's organic, there's coral, so that somehow means it's organic and alive.
No, but it does. Okay. It looks like this kind of bone structure-esque thing.
No,
I love those arches. I just think it looks good.
I think it looks like shit.
I like that it casts this greenish light on all of them as well. Like, it's nice. I think
when it wants to.
Yeah, I understand that it's
not doing that at the moment, is it? It's not doing that with Wilf and the Doctor in this scene.
Look,
it's very well lit.
All right. Yes, fine. Season 1 is when it's at its most goated because they've got that weird effect over it.
And the fucking console isn't broken.
I mean, yeah, that's also true.
You can actually have shots of the Doctor touching the console and doing stuff. Anyway, regardless, bag of shit. It's only got 2 episodes. It's only got an episode left, so whatever.
Yeah.
What happens? The Master is wearing a straight jacket and a literal dog collar, which is pretty kinky.
Yeah, very horny stuff.
Very horny.
One for your books, I reckon.
One for my books. Yeah, maybe.
And there's 2 scientists, Nathan, that are doing. They're playing a bit of a game. They're like, I've just got to go and check the flibbly floor downstairs. Yeah. Can you come with me?
Sure, I'll also come check the flibbity floors. Oh, we're green.
What are these 2 pricks doing?
They're the Vinvoci, Lawrence.
I know exactly what they are, Nathan.
They're related to the Zocchi. You might know as Banacafalata.
Yes, I did like that. Yes. I like that now we get to find out more about Banacafalata. Previously, we only knew that he was for sure a cyborg.
Was you also a little bit shocked watching Confidential that like the face paint appears to be digital?
Yes, I couldn't work this out.
Yeah.
Right, and I think maybe she was halfway through her makeup.
I don't think so, because they were doing the scene with it on. There were shots of them doing the scene with the clips which appear in the episode.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so the actual face, like there's the prosthetics and like the head coverings and stuff.
But then it's just their normal flesh.
But yeah, then it's just like normal flesh, so I guess they're just like digitally painted green, which...
Impressive.
Very impressive. I've never been able to tell, so good job.
Yeah, I can't say I ever noticed it. Like...
Yeah.
And I to the point where I thought, they've literally just painted someone green.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's good.
Odd. Yeah.
Good stuff. What I do like that the Master is he's very consistent, this Master. He's loyal to absolutely no one. He's like he's put down, he's given a big old chicken and
it's a turkey, Lawrence. It's Christmas.
Yes. No, is it a turkey?
Of course, what do you eat at Christmas? You don't have a chicken, do you?
I guess. And this girl does love Christmas.
She loves Christmas.
Oh yeah, no, all right, I'm wrong. But it's like little things where like he's given food, right? He's given the opportunity.
The visitor will be given food.
Yeah. Yes. What's that about?
Yeah.
I got questions about the whole running of this house. And is it militarized? And is it?
I don't know.
Are there butlers?
A butler? Yeah, some are going on, man. Martian Manhunter runs a tight ship.
It really does. Far too tight, given that he's just a guy that I guess put some books out. Like,
but he's given the Master is given a turkey, and boy goes to town on that fucking bird, mate.
What a day on set for Johnson.
These must have been a fun scene to shoot. I reckon.
I reckon fun, but then like again, you see him later on in Confidential. Like I think he was so happy to be coming back, and then a couple of days into the shoot, he was like, "Fuck this show, man," because he's there changing into changing into 1,000 different costumes.
I did like that moment in Confidential where they showed how they filmed all of those. That was very fun.
It's a great episode of Confidential, man.
It was a really good episode of Confidential. But yeah, he's really getting fucking stuck into that turkey, and they really hyped up the fucking sound effects for it as well. They like really turned up that like like bone cracking and meat juices spilling all over and everything. They really fucking amped up the ADR on that.
And I quite like and I know it's edited shorter to give the illusion that he's just fucking crammed through a turkey in like 10 seconds.
Oh, I kind of think he actually had, though.
Yeah, I know, I do as well.
Yeah.
But I do like that everyone just sits and watches.
Yeah. Let's all watch this man eat a whole turkey.
That sounds fun. What was their plan, like, if he wasn't this demonic? Like, and they sat there and ate a whole turkey in front of them.
But to be fair, if you saw a man going to town on a turkey like that, I'd be like, holy shit. Yeah. I'd just sit and stare for a few seconds and be like kind of transfixed by it.
I won't say the name, but we both knew someone at uni who could put a chicken wing in his mouth and shred the bone completely in one swift movement.
And that guy was a bit of a cunt, but like
I wasn't gonna say.
But like it was impressive.
It
though.
was
It was
impressive.
a sight to behold.
I feel like this is our version of that.
Yeah. I tell you, that's what I do if I was on Hot Ones. Because on Hot Ones, they never eat the whole chicken wing, do they?
Yeah.
They always just have like a bite of it. Like, and I'm like, cowards, man. Have the whole thing, mate.
I often watch the Hot Ones, and there's these people that do say, like, oh, I don't really eat a lot of spice. And you know me. I don't go near spice. I'm better now than I used to be.
You're an absolute fucking... This is a man who goes to fucking Nando's and he gets plain with ketchup.
What's your favourite analogy? Right? You'll never get fucking bored of that one.
I know, because it's funny and true.
Joshua, the Martian Manhunter. He's got this device. It's called an immortality gate.
He's a big green boy.
He's not in this.
Not in this, no.
There are other green boys at play.
Yeah, but anyway.
Not here.
Yeah, he's got the gate. He's got this big gate, which... What does it do? It vaguely heals you or whatever.
Yeah, and it is I think it's intentionally vague because there's another plot point that comes in 5 minutes.
There's more stuff to come, yeah.
I do like that he's like, and you're gonna fix it. Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds
But not for me. For my daughter.
For my little girl.
Yeah. But then,
I want her to live forever.
What I like about this is he does that. He goes that. And then his daughter goes, Abigail, it means bringer of joy. Okay.
All right. Fuck's that got to do with it?
Yeah. Hey, all right.
Well, it's Dad, why is my sister called Rose? Because your mother loves roses. I don't know, Lego Star Wars Death Star or something.
But he's just so out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He's just not related to the conversation at all. It's just we're talking about the immortality gate, and it's all for my daughter. But then she just brings her neck, which I guess is at least kind of relevant. But then just the meaning of it, like, okay, and what does that even have to do with anything that was said? Bringer of joy means somehow you're gonna live forever.
Yeah, it's not one and one aren't making two. Right?
Yeah,
it's not.
Fucking hell! You might as well have just said my name is Lazarus because I'm gonna live forever.
No, they've already
Russell
done that.
Already did that one. Yeah, they already had that one.
I've made this for my daughter. She's called Immortality Gate.
Yes.
Oh, Immortality Gate. It means Immortality Gate.
But in that room, there's a big glass box, right? And it's like it's split in two. And, like, there's one guy on one side, there's a guy on another. They press a button, it opens, whatever. There can only be one in there at once.
Chekhov's nuclear cage.
Chekhov's nuclear cage. We'll come back to it next week.
Yeah.
Right? But Lawrence, no, fucking Martian Manhunter says, oh, it's every 24 hours. They press the fucking button. Put a chair in there, man. 24 hours? You just gotta fucking stand up in the box for a whole fucking day?
Make it the size of a room.
Kill this man right now. Immediately eat the fucking John Sim based. He wants to eat the rich. He literally says, you look like you taste great. Like, oh, that's kind of kinky.
Yeah.
But also,
one for your book.
This man, one for my book. But fucking hell, I know the rich are like scum, but fuck me. Put a chair in there at least, man.
I also like that, like, he stops John Sim working. He's like, he says, like, I'm not a slaver. I'm not going to make you work all day on Christmas.
I'm not a slave driver. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, well, the rest of your employees seem to be on the clock, mate.
Yeah.
So I don't know about this.
Yeah. Shimmer.
Shimmer.
No, I'm not talking about Ellie's horse in The Last of Us Part 2.
That's why it sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah. No, a shimmer is a device which makes you look human, I guess.
I did like the line delivery of humans are so flat. It was very good.
Yeah. I like the shimmer stuff. Bit of fun, I guess. Yeah. The Doctor calls him Skeletor, calls the Master Skeletor, where they're like, well, what's he done? The Master, Harold Saxon, or Skeletor, whatever you call him. That's a bit of fun.
I'm in this scene. I'm very, very. I'm a very big fan of Wilf going, "Oh my god, it's a cactus."
Yeah, that is quite funny. Anyway, then we find out that we get a hint of what the Master's up to, because when the Green Lady explains that the healing gate, or whatever it's called, the fucking whatever the fuck it is, the big sci-fi gate, it doesn't just mend people, it mends whole planets at a time. And the Doctor's immediately like, what the fuck did you just say, bitch?
Uh-oh.
Like, uh-oh, that's not good.
This might be something to do with his plan.
Yeah, maybe he's gonna do something to the entire fucking population of Earth, and that's pretty fucking sus, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, then we get like the big dramatic Doctor thing, and at that moment, Lawrence, this was when I was saved from this episode by the Queen herself. She came onto my TV screen to save me.
Yeah.
Trinity Wells is back once again.
Right. And now I will get to the reason why I prefer the confidential episode over the episode. There's like
Trinity
a mini
Wells got a whole
featurette
section
Yeah.
on fucking confidential. It was so good.
She gets a little featurette, and she ends it by being like, Russell's fed my kids for years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she's been eating good. All throughout, and I've said this before on the show, the way Confidential uses music is, I think, some of the best behind the scenes packaging I've ever seen. Right? Like, you know, back in the day, they used to make like hour-long documentaries for behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's like Tom Holland's like, I'm Spider-Man,
15
and then
minutes
there's just a
or whatever.
TV spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. This is the best behind the scenes packaging ever. Playing American Woman while Trinity Wells, and playing Shake It while the Master's doing his shake head thing.
Is very funny.
Fucking brilliant stuff.
Yeah. It is very funny. The Trinity Wells stuff was great. We also find out in that there was an early draft, or a concept at least, where the Doctor was going to meet Trinity Wells, and they were going to have a moment.
Russell, a criminal for real.
You put in that fucking Carter Saxon shit in this episode, but not that. Like,
all the shit that could be removed from this episode to make space. Yeah,
we were robbed. Is all I would say. Absolutely robbed.
And it would have been so easy. Make Barack Obama announce his financial plan in the UK, and have Trinity Wells in the UK as like a correspondent.
Not even. You don't even need to have it in the UK. Just fucking have the Doctor show up there or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Doctor does have a TARDIS.
Yeah, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
I know it often seems like he is limited to the UK, but it does go anywhere.
Also, I'm not massive in American politics, right?
Yeah. We'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into all that in a second, all right?
All right.
But anyway, Trinity Wells is here.
Yeah.
She's back. Oh, the saving grace of the episode, Lawrence. I think we see her again. I hope this is not the last we've seen in I'm almost certain we'll see her again next week.
To do the bookend to this.
Yeah, even if it's just a face returning to normal. But
we're now not the Master.
Yes. But anyway, she's telling us that we're going live to the White House because Obama. I can't believe they got Obama for Doctor Who. They got the man himself.
They can't make up their mind, right? Because they're doing back of the head shots. Yeah. Apart from the one where it's just overtly not Barack Obama walking plain day. Yes.
It's clearly, there is no part of this where you're like, oh, that's Obama. It's like,
even the back of the head doesn't look like him.
They just got a bald black guy. And you're here, put a suit on, and now go be Obama.
Did he get any lines? Was there any?
There was a guy. No, the guy didn't, but they did have a a clip of Obama saying, "I'd like to talk about the economy." So they pulled that from somewhere.
Yeah.
But no, they didn't
Someone
actually.
needs to. They conducted an operation, and Osama bin Laden has been terminated.
Yeah,
They need to add that in.
it was very funny, but yeah, they got Obama. Good on them, I guess.
Yeah, they should have got the guy from Epic Rap Battles of History that was Obama. He was a good Obama.
He did a good impression.
He did.
Yeah.
So rich and white, it's like I'm running against a cheesecake.
Yeah.
Don't leave me out in the cold. You and I both know we know the lyrics to these songs.
Republicans
Need a puppet and your
feet. Got the hand so far up your rear. Call your mitt. I'm the head of state. You're like the head of cabbage. About to get smacked by my stimulus package. Ha ha. I'm ashamed how much I know of that.
I'm ashamed of how much we put on the internet of ourselves.
Well, we'll see. Anyway.
Winston calls Wilf.
No, Donna calls Wilf, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, because everyone's changing into the master or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they're all having the dream memory.
Yeah.
They're all seeing his face because he flew into the gate, and now everyone's remembering the dream.
I have a theory that this was filmed quite... Okay.
Just wait a minute. Donna calls Wilf, and he answers his gun, first of all, which is a bit of fun. He pulls out the gun, going, "Hello? Oh, fuck, yeah. No, that's not it." And then answers his phone.
Oh, my God, a real Chekhov's gun.
A Chekhov's gun, yes. What's your theory, Lawrence?
My theory is that this section was filmed quite late in the production, and everyone's tired and wants to stop filming this episode, right? And I tell you for why, right? Because apparently everyone has forgotten. All these professional actors have forgotten how to feign a headache. Because they're all just like kind of vaguely rubbing their heads and have their heads down.
The Martian Manhunter, I keep calling him Martian. Be honest, because I don't know his actual name, which I feel quite rude about, considering he is like a very good, he's
like a British theatre guy.
Yeah, he's like a very prestigious, like British theatre actor, and he is a good actor. But this is what I'm saying though. This is my exact point. Like, he's a very good thespian. Like, fucking you could put him in the ranks with fucking Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart. He's got that same sort of gravitas to him.
Yeah, but
like, even he is just like looking around like, "Oh, my head hurts.
My head is doing an ouchie." Yeah.
Yeah.
David Harewood is his name.
Yes, that's it. Yes.
And
yes.
he's
very good in Supergirl.
Yeah, I haven't seen Supergirl, but I've seen bits of his Martian Manhunt and stuff.
I'm John Jones, Martian Manhunter.
Sean Jones.
Supergirl.
Yeah. But yeah, because everyone just is a bad actor for 5 minutes.
Remember when Martian Manhunter was in Zack Snyder's Justice League for 2 minutes?
He was like, "And I helped."
He was like, "And I'm Superman's mum, but not really."
And at the end, he's like, "Bruce, there will be more threats. Are you ready for them?" And it's like, "Motherfucker, where were you?"
Why did he turn into Martian Manhunter and then back into the general guy? Why didn't he just turn into the general guy?
He forgot. He had to reset.
He had to let the audience know.
He did a factory reset, yeah.
Oh, bad movie. Anyway,
right. I admit, right, this is a fun little scene with Winston. Yeah. Winston calls Wilfred, and I like the fucking Wilf is like, "There's a global catastrophe going on," and Wilfred's like, "Fuck off, Winston."
Yeah, I mean, it's more because he's on the phone to Donna.
No,
I think out of the two of them, I think he's probably a bit more concerned about Donna than his mate Winston. You know,
and I have a question for you.
Yeah,
is Winston on the Powell estate?
It looks like
it's
doesn't
fucking
it?
Identical to it. The down shot of the corner.
The down shot is very similar.
Yeah.
But the building of the block of flats doesn't line up. But it does look very similar. But there's a lot of council estates in the UK which like look the exact same.
If you know the corner I mean, it feels like where the TARDIS crashed in Christmas Invasion.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And it could be. Very well could just be the same film and location, you know?
Yeah. They've redressed it maybe.
But I don't even think they'd have bothered. They just went, just film it from a different angle or whatever.
Yeah. Because there's... Another
see the
Powell estate.
Yeah. Well, we'll see the Powell estate next week.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
But yeah. No, this is a moment where we get some great Doctor Who extra acting as well. There's that one guy, that guy with the emo fringe who he's just stood in the courtyard and he just stares up at the sky going, "There's a face in my head."
Yeah, cutaways have never been the strong suit for Doctor Who. Yeah,
it's very funny. So everyone's the master now.
And here we go,
you're
not going to like this next point, but I'm going to have to make it.
All right.
Nathan, for a certain species on the show, we do a series called Soup Talk.
Oh, my God.
So we got a few.
Oh, please don't tell me this is going where I think it's going.
There's a few.
Oh, my God. Okay.
No, I haven't prepared anything.
Thank fuck for that.
I would just like to hear some of your favourites. Do you remember any particulars that stand out? I like the pink frock myself.
I like the pink frog. I like Obama Master.
Yeah, I like Baggy Suit Master.
Trinity Wells Master.
Trinity Wells Masters, that's a good one.
I like the confidential of this episode where they show you how they filmed the Obama press conference.
Yeah.
And it's just like an empty room, but then they just like had the camera mounted and then just got John Sim to change outfits like 30 times and just place him all around the room so they could film the individual clips of it.
And they layered all the shots as one.
Yeah. That would have been like a whole day's worth of filming for that just one like fucking 5-second scene, if that. But like,
and it's like stop motion, somewhat techniques, right? If you fuck it up, it's back to the beginning. Yeah.
It's very fun though, just seeing him like dressed as a cameraman in the background, just laughing to himself.
So on Not the Powell Estate, I'm a big fan of there's two masters that wave to each other.
Yes,
and I love the idea that John Sim has set. I like the idea that early in the day, 9 a.m. John Sim is dressed. He's gone. Be funny if I did a wave to the other master. So he's done a wave, and then later on in the day, they've got to the other side of the estate, right?
Yeah.
In the setup, and he's like, oh, hi. It's just like I can't be bothered at this point.
This must have been exhausting for John Sim, just having to change outfits over and over again, to constantly be laughing and just be, gleefully the master and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah,
and
it's a high intensity role.
He's Sylvia Master, where Sylvia and Sean Master are having weird looks at each other and everything. But also somehow ignoring Donna right in front of them.
Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, we can't see her.
If I was Donna, I would just start going and moving my head about. I'm still going.
I don't know what I'd be doing. But yeah, good bit of fun. Obviously, you watch Confidential, so you saw the John Sim mask.
Yeah.
Horrific. Terrifying.
With a grin.
They had a mask made up, I presume, just for people to wear like while they was in shot or whatever, and then they'll replace it with John Sim later. But it's horrific, mate. It's fucking terrifying.
It's genuinely really scary. And like, I think John Sim, this is why I have the theory that John Sim is very over it at this point. Right? Because he's like, they do the confidential thing, and like, if you compare it to a moment on the recent Doctor Who Confidential kind of Unleashed surrogate, like the new version, right? And I won't give any plot stuff away for anything to come. But someone has a prosthetic of someone's head. Yeah. And that actor reacts with a lot of glee. And it's like, this is a bunch of fun. I love this.
But to be fair, that prosthetic is done like a lot better.
Yeah, and I get it. I do.
And also, like, for the time, this was probably done well, but, and the budget and what they were working with and everything.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically the actor's reaction is very like,
yeah,
this is a great time on set. And then you get John Sim confronted with it. And then he just like cuts the camera and he's like, and everyone was like scaring me and jumping out of corners with my face with this horrible grin. And he's like, I'm not going to be able to watch the episode back. There's a lot of me.
He did look a bit defeated, but
he really did. He looked like he was halfway out in the car park, and Confidential had gone, oi, over here for a quick talking head.
Anyway, so the master is everyone and having a good old chuckle, which is a bit of fun. Am I looking too much into this, or is there anything to be said about the fact that there are several people of color who then turn into a blonde-haired white man who then refers to himself as the master race. Am I looking too much into that, or is there anything there?
I think there's absolutely something there.
Okay.
I think the master is blonde now.
Yes.
A choice that was made for the episode.
Yes.
And it's look, the master, we've spoken about it before. He's like, I don't think we've ever seen him be overtly racist, at least the Sim one. But he's been
sexist, yes.
Definitely sexist, yeah.
Yeah, but not racist. No, I don't think so.
No, but then we haven't seen him really interact with many people of colour other than Martha. And he treats Martha like shit.
Yeah. But everyone treat Martha like shit, to be fair, though. Yeah. Especially the doctor.
Yeah, I mean, true. But he's got, there's little things. He's got Francine in a maid outfit. Trish as well. Or Tish, sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's definitely implied, and I also think that just saying the master race, that's a conscious choice.
Yes, yeah. It did seem like it's a play on words, obviously.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. It's just maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm like, maybe there's something there.
I think there's something there, but it's not overtly sinister. It's just the master being like, the master's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did remind me of when Vin Diesel in Tokyo Drift of all movies was like, it's race wars.
Oh, no.
And it's just have another crack at that. Call it fast car derby. Call it anything else other than race wars.
Race wars. Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. All right, here's something that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone turned into the master, all right? Mm-hmm. Everyone on Earth, okay? Presumably, you'd imagine that 6 billion people out on Earth, all right? Mm. Some of them got to be fucking at that moment. Okay.
I don't like you.
But I'm just saying, Lawrence, all right? If everyone on Earth turned into the master, then... I'm just saying, you put 2 and 2 together.
They still got their parts?
Two blokes can be going at it, you know?
Yeah, but like I'm talking if a man and a woman are going at it, what happens there?
I don't know. It's too much to think about, all right?
The apparatus will have changed.
They will have, yes. In some circumstances.
In some circumstances, yes.
Anyway. But hey.
I'm stuck.
We've melded together. But all I'm saying is, as there would probably be at least a good few million, I'd say, versions of the master who would have been fucking themselves, and I would say that's pretty on brand. Probably.
Almost certainly on brand. Yeah.
I reckon that kind of fits, to be honest. So, if the master's gonna fuck anyone, it would probably be themselves.
Conscious-wise, right, are these just different the masters?
It seems that way.
Because is he like... He can't just tap into one in China, can he?
It's not like he goes and becomes one person and then suddenly they're awake. It seems like... It is just his collective consciousness.
Like 10-2.
Yeah. No, it's not like 10-2, because 10-2 is more they're different people. They're different people. Because,
I mean in the sense that there are 2 doctors independent with free thought and will.
No, it's different to that,
okay.
I think. It's the same thought, because in the next episode, a bit of a spoiler alert, but the master says, you don't understand. I am everyone on Earth. And I'm not calling you, so who's ringing that phone? You see?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So he is aware of everyone and everything.
Like a hive mind situation.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm with it now.
Yeah. So yeah. Master's fucking.
So that's not the end of the episode.
No, it's not. Because first of all, Donna's remembering shit.
Yep.
Which is not good. She
remembers my head?
A big wasp. She doesn't remember a big wasp yet. She remembers the Arachnos and everything,
yeah.
and things are going mad. But then we cut back to Timothy Dalton, and we get the reveal that he is in fact a Time Lord in his big regal robes. The big old collars are back, the big hats, and he's addressing the council and what does he say? This is the day that Gallifrey returns or something?
He says, Nathan, it's time for suit talk.
Okay. It's not a suit.
Right, but come on.
It's just robes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's outfit talk.
Yeah, it's regal robes. Yeah.
Love it.
I do too, yeah.
What an incredibly
I
bold and eye-catching and unique design.
And I love the classic Time Lord outfits as well. Like, they're so fucking stupid, but that's kind of the idea of them. They are meant to be this, like, oh, look at us, we've got such high status. We called ourselves the Time Lords because we are the Lords of Time, and aren't we all hoity-toity boys in our big collars? They're such stuck-up pricks, man.
It's all so pompous and absurd. And
100%, yeah. They're just silly little fucking idiots in their weird cults.
It's like the coronation photo of King Charles when he was dressed up in all his fucking absurd medals he's got for sitting and waving all of his life. Like,
yes.
No one waves like you fucking idiot.
Well done. Good, give him a medal. He did another wave.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, but do you know what I mean? Like it like all of those absolutely fucking ludicrous bits of decoration and his stupid fucking hat that is like way too tall. It looks like a stupid cartoon birthday cake on his head. Yeah. Like I like that it is that grand and regal and just also it's it by extension reframes the Doctor and the Master as just two people that are like, that's not us.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's true. They did like escape this. I call them a cult, like kind of tongue in cheek, but you know, a little bit. They did kind of break free of this fucking organization and this like aristocracy. I guess
this iteration is very cult-esque, I think. And I like that this and again another reason why I prefer Confidential to the thing, because Russell is spouting off some really interesting ideas.
You get a good bit of history of the Time Lords. Like he does go through like the whole history of them, which is quite fun. We
do, and we get this this look at Timothy Dalton and his idea behind what his character is doing, and it's this kind of these really interesting themes at play of just what having power but being isolated does to someone.
Yeah.
And how they have all this ability to create this fucking dynasty, but due to their situation and circumstance, they have no one to flex this rule over, right? And what that does to someone's mind, and having just that little bit too much power can push people into being the polar opposite of what they preach and should be. That's all really interesting, but it's just not in the fucking episode. It's just nowhere to be seen.
It's not. And, you know, maybe we'll get bits of it next week and stuff.
But I would have preferred Timothy Dalton all this time to be saying something far more cryptic that made sense right at the end, but instead he's just given us a lesson on Christmas. Yeah. The entire episode.
It is just another bit of Christmas, and then he's like, and Gallifrey stands, or whatever. Gallifrey returns.
And did I mention it's Christmas?
Look,
but
then all the Time Lords are chanting like for Gallifrey, and then I think they chant for the end of time itself. A bit weird, but all right.
That's not what you want, brother.
Yeah, you're called the Time Lord.
What are you going to be the Lord of? Nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all very vague and very. Yeah, we're back, and that's evil.
He's got a big staff. Yeah, but we don't really. I'd hesitant to say we're back and we're evil at this point.
Certainly sinister vibes.
Yeah, it's not seeming great, maybe, but I don't know.
That carries on. That's like
But hey, the Time Lords are returning. Gallifrey seems to be returning. Everyone is the Master. Donna is remembering things that will kill her. A lot's going on. A lot is going on. And it's all to be continued next week. But for now, Lawrence, we must do this.
Weirdo of the Week! weirdo.
This is everyone's favorite segment of the show where we get to take a chance to look back on some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across our screens each and every week. And boy, let me tell you, there's quite a lot of them this week. But hey, we'll try and narrow it down to just one. Lawrence, who is your weirdo for this week?
Ginger's mate, the unnamed homeless guy.
Okay.
No one should pocket a burger and save it for later. I understand he's under tough circumstances.
I can go back to my notes on this scene now.
Okay, yes. You can't make a burger last all day. That's absurd.
I had a no on this because I thought the exact same thing until you dropped that they're homeless. And then I was like, oh, okay. Well, that kind of makes sense now.
Yeah,
all right?
but this van seemingly is there most days. They have a rapport. They know each other.
Well, you don't know, but regardless, all right. What was my note? Where was it? It just says, and I'll just read this verbatim. What the fuck is this guy talking about? Who makes a burger last all day? That sounds completely fucking gross.
It does.
Just eat it, man. Just fucking eat it. The line he says is, now that's what you don't want to do. Eat it all at once. Tempting, I know, he says to the master. But if you make it last, it can last all day.
I'm with him until that
off.
last line. Because you can savour a burger over like the course of 20 minutes.
It. Yes, but not all day, man.
No
also,
one's...
that's not even going to be good for yourself. You're just getting a little bit of burger like every fucking hour or so. Like, who's that satisfying?
No one.
Yeah.
Look, I understand the circumstances, but I've just always had it in my mind that is a really just an odd thing.
It really is. And you know what? It was also in contention for my weirdo running as well. And again, so many to choose from. Fucking Cult of Saxon, Burger Boys, Minnie the Menace, Martian Manhunter and his weird incest daughter.
Still don't understand those vibes.
No, it's just a whole strange vibe going on there. But, Lawrence, my weirdo of the week goes to President Barack Obama.
Okay, yeah.
For making the executive decision to host a press conference on Christmas fucking Day, making journalists and camera crew and technicians all leave their families at home and go to the fucking White House so they can listen to him make up shit about the economy. All right?
Shit, which, by the way, like, shouldn't be this big of a deal to Britain.
Apparently, like, it's all very vague. They say, like, oh, Obama's going to end the recession somehow. Yeah. I guess he's just plugged fucking $600 billion out of nowhere, and he's just going to give it to everyone or something.
That's the US government to a T.
Yeah.
We need $6 billion. That's an accounting error. That's a rounding issue. Like,
let's take off fucking $600 billion from the drone strikes in the Middle East for this week, and we'll just give that to Britain.
Yeah.
That ludicrous, as if they'd ever stop funding genocide. In the Middle East.
That's absurd.
How dare I suggest such a ridiculous thing?
In fact, anyway, in penance for Nathan, I think they should double the budget of the US military, like they do every year anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, fucking what a weirdo. Fucking Christmas Day, man. How was it Christmas Eve at least?
Where's Michelle?
Hey, why is it?
You got 2 kids, man. Go and be a dad.
Where's Ali and Sasha? Is it Millie?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's definitely Sasha.
I know one's called Michelle. As in his wife.
Yeah. Yes. Weird. Weird stuff.
Look, overall, before we do Still Got Thoughts, a weird episode. Just a kind of a wet fart. Yeah.
Yeah. I stand by my idea that, and obviously we can talk more about this next week, but should have just been one episode. They just they wanted the big epic 2-part finale. They wanted to draw it out, but in doing so, it's just become this bloated, convoluted mess.
And no one needed it to be like this as well. Just reframe it, restructure the episode so there's 5 specials and the last one is the Christmas Day send-off.
Yeah, you could have had a whole other special.
Yeah. It's even weird to have the Doctor regenerate not be on Christmas Day. Like, if you have a Christmas special, why is that not the regeneration episode?
Yeah.
Oh, strange.
Well, this set the precedent of the Christmas regeneration.
I suppose it
And
would
it
have
wasn't
done,
even a Christmas, technically.
Huh, yeah, Christmas story, but well, I mean,
Yeah.
how could you forget it's Christmas? You've got the incest daughter.
You've got fucking Slades. Fucking Merry Christmas.
Oh,
That's how
yeah,
we know. That's how we know, Lawrence.
My
It's
mistake, yes.
Christmas. Anyway, fucking Merry Christmas. But yeah, that's it. That's the episode. What comes next, Lawrence?
Well, now, Nathan, it's the time of the show where we get the audience to have their say. What happens is Nathan will tweet out a little post, let you guys know what episode we're recording and when, and then our lovely loyal listeners will send in their thoughts. They can reply directly on Twitter, or they can send us an email over at stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com. For all the casual listeners out there, now is probably a good time to jump off if you're not a fan of basically in-jokes and a bit of silliness and some facts and some trivia. Nathan, it's Still Got Thoughts. What do the good people think of The End of Time Part 1?
It is Still Got Thoughts. We're going to start off with Twitter. Somehow, the actual discussion portion of the show this week was longer than last week's.
Oh,
somehow.
fuck! Okay.
Somehow. It's my recording time saying 2:45 right now, and that's probably about 2:30, just about.
Yeah.
And that would be some generous editing if it is. So
we've still got.
Hell.
I don't know what's the email section looking like? Because last week was. I'll be honest, right? It was hell on earth for me.
Well, I don't know because there might be more. So yeah, difficult to say.
Peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, Lawrence, no one knows. Anyway, first of all, we've got Return of the Dastardly Wizard on Twitter, who is at King Carbonara, formerly Super Soup Brain, picking up some subtle hints from Nathan that this is a safe space to say this episode is bad. If last week was 10 at his best, this is 10 at his most Flanderized. Mopey to a level that hinders the episode and makes him feel very undoctorish, and it only gets worse from here. Big agree for me on that one. It does only get worse. Before it gets better, but it does only get worse. But yeah.
Look,
but that's conversations for next week.
Yeah, we'll get to it next week, but I'll be far less lenient. Today I gave Nathan his credit and agreed with him on a lot of points.
Well, yeah, but you were saying that about this one and you hadn't watched it. So
that's true. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just know that the last half an hour of next week, you besmirch it, we're fighting. That's it. Then I guess we're fighting.
We'll see. I got thoughts. That's
Okay.
all I'll say. Catherine, our good friend Catherine at Cafe Scratch, also host of the Missing Mystic Falls podcast. Very good. Check it out if you love the Vampire Diaries, or even if you don't, because I don't watch it and I never have, and I still like that podcast. Rewatched it for the first time in years, and part 1 is a mess. Wilf is truly the only thing to keep it from going off the rails. The Very Hungry Master is too dumb for even me to enjoy. Kind of sad this is the end of the RTD era, but shows why it was time for him to move on. I think that's a quite accurate summarization of it, really. It's probably time, Russell. Probably.
I don't disagree. I think at this point, some of Russell's best ideas were already out on the page and are already done on the show, and now he's kind of flailing at the end. Yeah.
Where is there to go?
Mate, and also, that's not an indictment of Russell, right? Season 4, genuinely one of my favourite seasons of Doctor Who, and we've just had it. It's been, there's some really good bangers. Yeah. Right? But unfortunately, the season he goes out on is a high, the episode maybe not.
Yeah. Callum, but also not Callum, at CJ George 2339J, says certified banger, a great ending for the 10th Doctor and the RTD era, but also very excited to start the greatest era of Doctor Who. Also, the spacesuit from 42 is not the orange spacesuit from the Satan Pit. Yes, I know. I did realize this after the fact. It's it's a different color. It's a bit more red, isn't it?
I will say that I also realised this, and I'm also reading a tweet here. I also realised this because
but stop clogging up my mentions, Lawrence. I'm trying to do Still Got Vote, and last night I was trying to collate all my tweets, and then I saw you popping up. I
don't look, but I was
talking
tagged.
about your silly little toys or whatever. Anyway, go on.
T Roper at T_Roper_0 on Twitter. Said, can confirm the Tennant spacesuit action figure was clear. I think that's colloquial slang for good. Like it clears other toys because it's so good. Is that right?
I think he's talking about the helmet.
I don't think so. I think because that's clear of that. That's miles ahead. That's good.
Oh, okay.
We're so old.
I don't know how the kids talk these days.
But he, you know, a couple of months ago, I found my action figures.
Yeah.
This is when I realized that they're not the same as well, because the Waters of Mars is kind of red and has like harness straps to it. Whereas the
no. The 42 is red. 42 is red. The Waters of Mars and Satan Pit is more orange. Waters of Mars and Satan Pit is the same suit. 42 is different because that's the one which, well, he doesn't go back to the TARDIS. He gets it from the actual ship itself.
But now I'm confused because the hair is different, and the hair in the red one, which would
don't worry about the hair.
No, because it's more season 4 hair.
No, but they don't give a shit about that. They'll take any heads they got off the production line.
I guess so, yeah.
You're thinking way too much into that, all right? Don't worry about that.
All right, fine. All right, carry on.
You think they're giving a shit about that? They'll just take any fucking Tennant head they got, all right?
They'll do it from fucking Good Omens or whatever that show is.
Exactly. They'll take it from fucking anything, mate.
Broadchurch.
Yeah, he's got a beard now for some reason. Thank you, Callum, but also not Callum. I'm sorry that you think this is a banger and you just had to listen to us just shit on it for like 3 hours or whatever.
Look, there are forgivable moments, but other than that, it's not great.
Rach, acting strange, says this is such a lame ending to 10's run. Overly convoluted, but also kind of boring. The Doctor moping around in front of Wilf and acting like a cocky prick to the Yudes makes me feel eager for him to fuck off next week, which is just not the vibe you want from a regeneration story. Also, do you think Missy looked back at her dinner time era and cringed so hard she regenerated into I might have to bleep that, because if that was my past self, I'd never sleep soundly again. Iconic scene though, much more funny than the joke, in quotation marks, sexual assault that comes next. Yeah, very true. I think that's part of the beauty of the Doctor and the Master changing. I like that each Doctor, whenever they have like a multi-Doctor or multi-Master story, they look back at their last self and they're like, because we all do that. Yeah. I look back at my 14-year-old self and I'm like, God, that's awful. I look back at my 29-year-old self and I'm like, ugh, cringe, mate.
Couldn't be me for real.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
But yeah, I'd say I agree with quite a bit of that because lame. Anyway, thank you, Rach. Raw in Rose Agatha at our Rose Agatha says certified banger. Sorry, all the love in the world for cracked out emo boy Master and his disgusting chicken destroying ways. To celebrate the most 2009 imaginable portrayal of a classic sci-fi villain, I suggest we all buy and obliterate some delicious rotisserie meat like feral raccoons. I enjoy the idea of that. They also followed that up with, also, I love how this version of the Master apparently enjoys running around like a grotty little imp. Spoilers, of course, but even when he regenerates, he spent decades living as a man in ridiculous fake beards and grime. I guess he got a taste for it in this episode. I guess that's true.
There's some... can we say stuff about that stuff?
Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay. Just like he got a taste for sweet, sweet, gristly, torn up white meat, Rude's boy would fuck up a KFC bucket like no other. Loud would leave absolutely no survivors. I think there's something very funny about me specifically saying the phrase Rude's boy would fuck up a KFC bucket.
I haven't heard Rude boy in such a long time.
Me neither. That's great. I love that.
Rude boy. Is it B-O-I or B-O-Y?
It's B-O-Y.
Okay,
yeah.
So it's a classic traditional Rude boy.
It seems to be, yes.
I like that.
Damn the Lamb says, it seems I'm in the minority, but I do love this two-parter. Fun camp with world-ending stakes. That's Docky Who, baby. I mean, it is, but it's just not good, though.
It's like I said at the beginning, right? You gotta have an equal balance. It's got it can be. It reminds me of a Mason clip, right? It's got to be two things, right? It can be silly, but it's got to be good as well.
Yeah, it's true. They also say I can never get enough of Wilf, and Bernard is firing all cylinders on these eps. Bit of a shame he's such a monarchist, but I will forgive him, in brackets, and only him. So, Bit of fun. Connor at Everything Is Any says, boys, I still haven't finished your last podcast episode. That's fair.
That's more than fair, yeah.
Sorry about that. Kendall Roy's sad pointy ears at Turtus Bill says, what a load of fucking shit. And then, Lawrence, they followed that up with a screenshot, and it's Twitter being like, most posters don't post replies like this.
Callback.
Which the payoff from earlier.
I've been sizzled.
The sizzle has been paid off. They replied with just a lol on that.
Yeah, we know that system oh too well.
We know. We too have been musked, unfortunately. And then I got you and T Roper filling up my mentions with all these showing off your toys and everything.
His toy's cooler than mine. It looks better.
It does, yeah. Yours looks shit.
Jealous.
Carly at Carly's Acting says, I love End of Time. It's such a good two-parter. I remember I asked my friend who isn't into Doctor Who what the Master's name would be, and I showed a photo of the Master in this episode, and he called him a reversed Oreo, which is, I don't know what that means, but I guess it looks, I don't know.
I was expecting that guy looks like a David or a Fred.
That guy looks like a feral beast is what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
But, I guess a reversed Oreo also works. Does that mean it's like it's two cream and biscuit on the middle, or is it...
What's the cream, though? Like, what is this analogy?
The cream,
I don't understand.
the cream is in the middle.
No, I know
of the
what an Oreo is. What's the Master got to do with an Oreo?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I know you're trying to make this worse because you don't want to seem rude.
It's not me, Lawrence.
but be full transparency. We have no idea what the fuck that means.
And that's the beauty of it.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Okay, all we need to know is that they called him a reversed Oreo.
And in solidarity, we will refer to the Master always next week as the reversed Oreo.
Greg Cactusface at G Cactusface says, during this episode, the Master eats a bunch of the homeless people, the world-round removing of the homeless people around the globe, much like in 2023 when the homeless people were removed from visible areas before the start of the baseball season. Ooh.
Okay.
Based, Greg, based. This was from a Fox News post, so it's probably bullshit, but I couldn't find any facts about eating chicken in baseball. Sorry.
Okay.
And then Greg also says, during this episode, it's revealed that Wilf never killed anyone during the war. Given his age, it can be assumed that he meant World War II. During wars, cavalry units were regularly reduced to infantry, historically because soldiers often had to convert horses into rations. There it is. There it is.
So my mate, he didn't kill anyone. Don't say that like it's a bad thing. I did eat loads of horses, though.
Apparently so.
Have you ever thought about the plural of horse being heath?
Mel at Melly Mel says, I wonder how long that pause will be in the edit. To everyone listening, it was probably quite considerably longer than you just heard. Mel at Melly Mel says, Minnie is a menace, and then has given us 3 cum emojis.
No.
Yeah.
Minnie, there's a live one for you over here.
Kai Armstrong at Kai says, this episode suffers from the same issue as most RTD 2-part episodes, as being the setup for the story. That being said, it's a good episode and it is enjoyable. Also funny how coming back from the dead makes the top of your hair get bleached. They then follow that up with, side note again, I sure hope Wilf remembers that someone who knocks 4 times will be the one to kill the Doctor, but I'm sure he won't forget this pivotal plot point. Very fun. Bit of sizzle there as well.
Bit of sizzle, yeah.
But no spoilers. No spoilers.
No, that's the way we keep it. All right, what is the next one, Nathan?
Lawrence, this is from Piers Moore, at Piers McMoore, who says he's blonde. Unfortunately, I cannot offer any further insights as I ended up killing myself after your last episode.
Oh, come on.
All the best, boys. So,
no, that's not fair.
This is the ghost of Piers, I guess.
Yeah. Also, how do you write this email then, ghost?
Yeah. Well, ghosts can write emails. We know that. That's a fact. Also, it's a tweet, Lawrence.
Oh, sorry. I once wrote a script, Nathan. And
You've wrote many scripts.
No, but this is relevant, right? Because I got hung up on this script for ages.
Yeah.
And it was about ghosts. And I wanted this ghost to interact with a figure from his past that was also in the script. Right?
Is this the fated the never released Semper?
No. That's not it.
No one will know what that is. Don't worry about it.
No, this is another thing entirely where I wanted a ghost to talk to his brother from beyond the grave.
Ooh.
And as like a 17-year-old, I got so worked up with, well, how is a ghost picking up a laptop? and then I eventually just canned it because I was like, I can't work this out. And then years later, I was like, it was a bad idea anyway. But I also was like, who would have given a fuck?
Yeah,
like,
you're getting caught up on the wrong things.
It just doesn't matter.
It just does not matter at all, man. Don't worry about it. Oh, that's good stuff.
Thank you, Pierce.
Yeah, thank you, Pierce. I'm sorry to hear that you died, but look, we did our best.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Garen at Garanzilla says a bit shit, innit?
I mean, yeah.
And you know what? They're not wrong.
It's just one of them episodes. I thought I'd like it more than I did on a rewatch. Turns out I didn't. Yeah, I guess it is just a bit shit.
You was wrong. Robert Vasquez at RW Vasquez says, the master knew that if he came back as a blonde, then this doctor wouldn't be able to hurt him. This is honestly his most cunning and successful plan to date. It's a very good point, actually.
That's very good. Do you often get some of these these tweets and emails, right? And then just be like, why are we doing the podcast? We're not funny. These guys are funny.
Lawrence, stop.
You guys should all start your own Doctor Who podcast.
Oh no, please! We're the only one. It's true. That is a very good point. All right. Okay. I'll read the tweets first, then I'll go through a thing. But this one is from our good friend Kate at Tortured Poet 13. Once I took the nostalgia goggles off, this episode lost its certified banger medal for me. Maybe I'm just dumb, brackets likely, but I still don't really know what's going on half the time. Just feels messy, and Hungry Master is cringo. The character bits are lovely, though. Ten and Wilf are golden. And I'd say I'd agree with all of that. This seems pretty much spot on there.
It's one of them, I don't think no one's dumb for not understanding this because it's written in such a way that is just it's vague. It's vague to the point of absurdity.
Yeah.
Where you're not supposed to get it because Russell himself doesn't get it.
It's true. It's true. Then, Lawrence, we have a tweet from Abby at Sapphic Slowpoke, who says, was super hyped for this as a kid, but watching it back, there's just so many weird / out of place choices they made. Like, what's with the new fascination the master has about hot meat, kinky bastard? And maybe
I would say the master's always been a bit interested in hot meat.
He definitely has, yeah. And maybe I'm stupid, but I still don't get the whole TV lady thing with Wilf. Look, again, neither does Russell.
This is such a bugbear of me, this woman, man. I remember being like, I can't wait till next week. I'm going to find out who that woman is. Is it this person I think it might be? We'll talk about it next week.
Don't get too excited. Because,
yeah.
Anyway. So I read those two tweets out. Kate and Abby, as we know, are lovers, girlfriends, gal pals, whatever you want to say.
Lovers is a weird first choice.
Partners, I don't know. But, I saw these tweets come through, okay. And keep in mind it's Valentine's Day. Okay. These tweets came through within 2 minutes of each other. Okay. Yeah. And they both liked each other's tweet as well. And I was like, that's so cute.
That is so adorable.
That's so adorable. I love that.
Do you reckon they were reading them back to each other?
I think so, yeah.
Babe, what do you think of this phrasing?
I reckon they took time out of their Valentine's Day plans, sat down on the couch together, and then composed their tweets for this stupid fucking podcast. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Abby. We love having you here. All right, and that's the tweets for this week, Lawrence. We'll go over to the emails now.
Off we go.
We had one come through 4 minutes ago.
Fucking hell.
Bloody hell.
By the skin of your teeth.
By the skin of your teeth, indeed. This first email is from, and also I can just say, mercifully short. these emails. I just opened this first one. It's a line. It's just it's one
incredible.
line.
That is incredible. I feel like I will get a bad rap, but I know you were holding it better than me. But you were just as tired.
You because what happens is you get to a certain point in recordings where you can only handle so much, and then once it's done, you lose your composure and you lose your filter, and then you're just like, I'm done. Fuck it. I hate everyone. I hate everything. You know.
I stopped policing myself.
Like.
Yeah.
You do. Alex Day says, "Hey both. Just want to say, when you get to the end of time, as part of David Tennant's farewell tour to all previous companions, I'd love a cameo from Pierce on Twitter/X to share his thoughts of the era." Alex. Seems weird.
Stop chatting.
Stop. You can talk to each other. You don't need to talk through us.
I don't like being this middleman. Stop it.
So I guess we need some thoughts from Pierce, I guess, for next week. But
we don't control this.
Well, yeah, you can just talk to each other.
We're not his mum.
Maybe they're friends. I don't know. Who knows?
That makes this weirder if they're friends.
That is what it is. Thank you, Alex. This is from our good friend Leah. Hello, hello, Lightning and Lynx.
Oh, that's a throwback.
Is it?
Yeah, this is Lightning and Lynx
from?
are our Matrix names, if you remember.
Oh, is that? Oh, fuck, yes, I do. Oh, that is a throwback. Wow.
No context. Don't provide any context. You can go figure it out.
Okay, sorry. Wow. Wow. No. It's on the Another Happy Pod Matrix episode. Go listen to it. There's ads on it, Lawrence.
Oh, yes. Oh, and Ben's in the last one, actually. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that is a throwback. Thank you for listening to Another Happy Pod. It needs all the help it can get.
It's actually dying. I looked at the stats recently and I wish I shouldn't.
It's not dying. It's not dying.
We're on a downwards trend, Nathan.
It was always on a downwards trend.
Since we started.
First off, I just want to say a massive well done for the 4 hours and 30-minute episode. We'll see how long this one is. We're already at 3.
Yeah.
Massive well done. Hope you two are proud of what you've accomplished. And if anyone killed themselves, that's on them and not you.
Agreed.
Thank you for absolving us.
I'm not sure what we accomplished.
Me neither. As a little reward, post my mini review, I'll do a little less trivia. And though I considered adding a sneaky fake one and making you guess what it was, I'll do that when I get to the less significant episodes. You deserve a reward. I can't say reward, apparently. You deserve a reward. Don't worry, I won't give you 31 pieces of trivia. Literally copy and pasted from IMDb brackets. I checked. Called you out, Jared. You've been called out and exposed. Oh, that's very fun. Couple of thoughts on the episode.
Sorry, just before you go on, I am a massive fan of We've crafted a community here that are now somewhat turning amongst each other, turning against.
They're not serious. No, it's all in jest. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
They're poking fun, which I enjoy.
Do you guys talk outside of this? Are we not in a group chat?
Yeah, do you have a group chat without us? Oh, that idea horrifies me.
That would make me. You know what? I think I'd stop.
That spikes my anxiety in a terrible way.
Well, even worse, what if one of us is in it and not the other one? No, hang on.
The audience couldn't see, but I pulled my collar.
He inferred that it might be him.
Yes. Anyway, all in all, I enjoyed it. I love the Doctor interacting with the Master, and Master just trying to be a prick and take away humanity from the Doctor. It's brilliant. But the Master constantly turning on creative mode and watching various John Sims have as much fun as possible does kind of ruin the moment. Shout out to the John Sim who throws his cap into the air and just lets it fall on the ground. I am very sick of his laugh, though. My weirdo of the week, now this was tough, but it came to me in a flash of inspiration, is Barack Obama for holding a press conference about the recession on what I can only assume to be first thing on Christmas morning. There you go. That's what I say.
This is cahoots here. This group chat does exist.
As we all picked our weirdo ahead of you.
No.
As I said, not as much trivia this week. Consider it a birthday present from me to you, as when you read this, the day before was my 24th birthday. Oh, I thought it was a reference to your birthday. Oh, happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday.
Welcome to 24. It only gets worse.
It literally does. This is the age I started losing my hair. So
Lawrence, come on now.
hey! You're all making jokes about me on the group chat.
We're all laughing at your bald head.
No, only partially.
The empty child / the doctor fucks, but fucks is crossed out and then it's dances. And early drafts included the character of Jamie's father, who would silently and anonymously appear to aid Nancy and other children. The big discovery of his true identity would be compounded by the reveal that he was German. Oh, interesting. Jack Harkness, originally having the real name of Jax, like Jax, would have been a genuine interstellar soldier who befriends the Doctor but scares Rose. He would have been tracking down an escaped child creature. The red bicycle when you were 12 comment was all that remained of a story where Jack discovered that the Doctor had gone back in time to manipulate Rose's life to make her a better companion. This episode would eventually be replaced by Boomtown. I've heard stuff about this episode before, and it sounds fucking weird, man. I'm glad that was changed.
I would say John Barrowman would feel right at home in a role where he gets to scare women.
It's probably true. Yeah. Boomtown. Russell wrote this episode because he wanted to bring back Annette Badland as Margaret Blaine after realizing she was somewhat wasted in her previous appearance. I think that's true. I think she's a great actress.
I would agree. That episode was basically a Slovene apologist episode.
Yeah, well, bring her back, I say.
Yeah.
That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed, and hope this episode was a bit more of a rest for you both. Even if it does lack the perfect blue suit, it will be missed. Leah. You are absolutely right. Leah is in our hearts of hearts, and it will there remain. Thank you very much.
Fuck that blue suit.
Fuck you. Jared Coastal says, "Hi, Nathan and friend."
Right. Okay.
All I can remember from part 1 is an over-the-top John Sim. So snack-wise, this episode is a sherbet dip dab. I ain't had one of them in fucking years.
I like a sherbet dip dab.
Absolute fizzy nonsense. Very true. From memory, I think part 2 is better because James Bond is in it. I mean, he was in this one as well, technically, but yeah.
Yeah, but he's actually doing plot stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Rather than being like the meaning of Christmas.
Yeah. Well done on your lengthy What is a Mars episode. You correctly guessed the made-up fact. We got it.
Yay.
The actual truth is that David Tennant had a balanced diet for the entire shoot. Well, he's a healthy boy. He keeps himself in shape. I'll prepare another game for your next 4.5-hour episode, which will be ? Well, probably this one.
Yes. No, I don't. Right. It's fucking Undercover Cop. None of this. You're not baiting us like this.
Day of the Doctor.
Nathan.
No, it'd be a big one, I think.
It'd be a big one, but I can't think of fucking. Oh, nah. All right, fuck it, fine. Day of the Doctor.
And that's in a while. We got a while.
We have got a while to prepare. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep up the great work, Jared. Thank you very much, Jared. Always appreciate you checking in. Ty Rothermole says, "Hello, Nathan and Lawrence. Thank you both." The subject line for this is "My beloved hungry boy." Boy, of course, spelled B-O-I.
Of course, yeah, not like rude
in the traditional sense. Yes, of course. Thank you both so much for putting in the hard yards last week and giving us listeners a real treat with that 4.5-hour episode. You two are legends. By the way, Nathan, I'm fine with you reading out my last name since you were uneasy about the last names last week. Well, that is a relief because I just read out your name. I'm a big fan of the End of Time storyline as a wrap up to the conclusion of Ten's run. I am so sorry. When I first watched it a few months back, going in, I really didn't know what to expect because Journey's End had felt like such an ending. But in my eyes, they make it work. Having Wilf as a companion genuinely just warms my heart, and it's heartbreaking to see and knowing Donna is missing a part of herself. The standout for me, though, is how fucking unhinged John Sim is as the half-baked resurrected master. Sure, he's committed and currently committing atrocities on Earth and across the galaxy at large, but this time he's a hungry boy, and I think we can all understand that. The performance is a lot of fun, and the rivalry he has with Tennant on screen is so delicious to watch. Brackets, pardon the pun. Can't wait to hear the wrap-up next week and listen to the air horns fire off when you can finally talk about the podcast's namesake. That's true.
Oh, I hadn't even remembered that. Yeah.
We'll get there next week. That's going to be a big moment. And then we'll have to change the name of the podcast after.
To Chins Blimey.
Then we'll get ready for another episode of Chins.
Welcome back.
Have a great rest of your week, guys. Ty, get Outlook for Android.
Huh?
It's the like send it from my iPhone.
Right.
Yeah.
It caught me. I was so up with it, and then I was like, hey, "Hang on, what was that last bit?" Look,
thank you very much, Ty.
We've said it a few times. John Sim is the beating heart of this episode. It's the reason it doesn't, and Wilf itself and himself doesn't. It's the reason the episode isn't a complete shambles.
I get excited every time I click on an email and it's very short.
It's a good feeling after last week.
It is. It's a good feeling. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love hearing from everyone, but last week, just opening an email and seeing an essay was like, I have to read.
It's worse for you because you have to read it out.
I know. This is from Thomas. Thoughts on the End of Time Part 1. Was a big fan of this episode and loved having Wilf being as involved as he was. We hadn't seen this much of him in episodes before. However, to this day, I'm still not sure how the Master got the powers to turn into Skeletor at all. Still doesn't make much sense to me. Thomas, sent from my iPhone. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be vaguely because of what happened with the cult and his resurrection. Yeah. But he's right, though. It doesn't explain shit. It's just, oh, and that went wrong, so now you have Sith powers and can fly, I guess.
Yeah, I think I don't understand the powers. It's obviously he was resurrected and then half killed.
Yeah.
And then also blown up.
Yeah, but again, why does that mean he has powers?
Yeah, the powers don't make sense.
Yeah. It makes no sense whatsoever. Anyway, thank you, Thomas. This is from Tanner Moore. The ending of time is the subject. Ten's legacy comes to an end. The true goat of the universe, Wilf, becomes the best of Team Tard. We interrupt this review to present one from the past, one forgotten to time and longer. Waters of Mars is good, but I don't think that it's the best of the best. I never watched this episode as a child. It wasn't until a couple of years ago where I watched it for the first time. And I mean, it's a great episode, but I think after years of hype, it did not quite live up to the expectations I had for it. I love to see the Doctor getting sick of losing, but I wish we had gotten Time Lord victorious a little longer, because by the end of time, it doesn't feel like he's as much of a god anymore. It mostly feels like there's an episode missing between the two. We now return to the regularly scheduled review. Best of Team TARDIS. It was great seeing Greg Cactus Face in an episode after listening to his tweets for so many weeks too. Does that make sense?
No.
Is there any baseball or anything? It was great seeing Greg Cactus Face in an episode after listening to his tweets for so many weeks too. Loved Timothy Dalton as narrator. Also, he's just a great voice for it. Hopefully, he shows up again soon. You're in luck, Tanner. He will show up next week. I don't know what that Greg thing means. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Let us know. Maybe we're being very stupid and just missing something completely. But I don't know. Let us know.
We had a brief aside there and we're like, do you get that?
Let us know.
Timothy Dalton as a narrator is an amazing thing. I just wish he was narrating something rather than reading me the night before Christmas or whatever.
Yes.
And all through the house.
This email appears to be all gifts, so that's going to be good for a podcast. This is from Ramona Harrison, who says, "Dear beautiful boys," and then in brackets, "not your value." which is a good reference to the Do Go On podcast, which I enjoy. So thank you for that. You know what's long email, so thoughts of specials as gifs.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
This makes sense. I guess I'll have to describe them.
I guess, yeah.
Stolen Earth. It's a gif of it's the circle shot from the Avengers where they're all assembling. The classic one. It's that. Which makes sense because everyone comes together in that.
Got ya.
Journey's End is Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The animated one. The Spider-Man pointing meme. And then a Dalek falling out the window. A Dalek being pushed out the window and just exploding, as the caption says, fuck. So that's good. I guess that makes sense for the Journey's End.
Yeah, very good.
That's good. The next Doctor, and it's the gif of the one of Cyberman dancing in the park. You seen that one?
Oh yes, I have seen that one.
Yeah, there you go. Again, makes sense. Planet of the Dead. We've got 3 gifs here. First one is a gif of the classic horror movie The Fly.
Okay.
I think with Jeff Goldblum. Then it's a sperm cell. It's a sperm cell from The Simpsons, so it's Homer as a sperm cell. Which, again, the squid things, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then a gif that says like a bus. I presume that's supposed to mean like a play on like a boss, but like
but the bus, yeah.
And then it's a bus doing donuts in a car park. So
that's what Christina was up to.
Yes. The Waters of Mars. It's a gif of someone spitting out some water. And then another gif of Leia from The Empire Strikes Back saying, I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain. So yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that.
Makes sense, that's good. And then the end of time part 1 is it's a sort of a cartoonish cactus wearing little pants and like shaking his bum. But the cactus people, so yeah, the vintage
or
whatever.
yes.
And then a gif of the hungry caterpillar as he goes through an apple, and it says "still hungry." And then we've got a horse. The horse is shaking his head side to side, the master turning.
With you.
So there we go. There's all the gifs. that was strange. That was our segment. Nathan badly explains gifs to an audio format. Yes, to Life on Mars / Ashes to Ashes talk. Brown suit is bad, but blue suit. Brown suit is bad, but blue is bad color. So no to both. Please do live show. Adelaide equals still got legs fans after last episode. Ramona Harris, word count 74. Thank you. Thank you.
After the gifts, because the gifts went on for a bit and required brain to do things. Yeah. I was like, because then it started being like broken English because of the say less. And I was like, what's this? What's going on with this even?
So there you go. So we should do a Life on Mars, Ashes to Ashes, another Happy Pod episode.
There we are then.
We should do a live show, apparently in Adelaide, so we got to go to Australia to do that.
That's a big investment for a live show.
It is.
I think our live show would more be we do it live on a call.
Well, that's not a live show, is it?
No one's coming, Nathan. If we go to Australia, no one's coming.
All of Adelaide will be there.
Oh, yes.
Ramona says so, okay?
I see.
All of Adelaide, so we got to go.
All right.
This email is from Rohan Hunter. Subject line is Still Got Fans, The End of Time Part 1. Hi, Nathan and Lawrence. Despite being an avid listener to the podcast since June of last year, I'm only now compelled to write in. Welcome. To cover in case all the other listeners have killed themselves due to last week's pod not being 6 hours long. Whilst I too appreciate the longer episodes, any length of Doctor Who banter between you two lads is just fine by me. Well done on the fantastic effort for last week. Thank you very much.
That's very kind
to hear.
We're very grateful to have you here.
We absolutely are. I only started watching brackets modern Doctor Who properly about 5 years ago, but it wasn't my first exposure to the show. That came in 2005 when an 11-year-old me was chosen to play the Doctor in my school stage production entitled Music Through the Ages. Each Each year level was given a different decade and had to perform a dance routine suited to that era of music going from the 1940s all the way through to the 2000s. My job was to host the show as the Doctor, coming out of a little wooden box painted like the TARDIS to introduce each class performance. Needless to say, this box was not bigger on the inside and actually quite hot and cramped. All 7 times I came out, Murray Gold's version of the main theme would blast over the speakers at the audience, each time with the startling sci-fi noise. At the time, I knew nothing about Doctor Who, so my teacher gave me a VHS recording of the latest Eccleston episode to watch and study in preparation for the part. The episode was the Empty Child, and I was so creeped out by the boy in the gas mask that I turned it off halfway through and just decided to do my own thing for the performance. That's so funny.
If you have any videos of this before, I'm saying this now, right? We have not broke for a discussion on this. If you have any videos of this performance, we will do a full Still Got Legs episode on it. Right, I need to see. This sounds borderline unwatchable, but so good.
I also had no idea he wasn't an actual medical doctor. And my costume consisted of a white lab coat and a clipboard with my script on it, so I didn't have to fully memorize.
This is like AI writes Doctor Who. This is brilliant.
That's so great. Oh, I love that. Work smarter, not harder. I love that. Not many notes on the episode. Everything to do with the Master is very silly, but Wilf is a national treasure as always. The scene in the cafe was exceptional, and we hardly ever see the 10th Doctor break down like he does when he tells Wilf how alone he is. P.S. I'm an Australian living in Melbourne who discovered you guys through Caravan of Garbage.
Hey.
Oh, Lawrence, your work. It often surprises me how many references you make to the Melbourne comedy podcast community, including the Weekly Planet, Auntie Donna, do go on. Have you guys ever made the trip down under? I'm sure you'd feel right at home amongst your fellow podcasters. Cheers, boys, Rohan. Let me tell you, Rohan, the Melbourne comedy / podcast community is my absolute fucking jam.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
I love it so much. Okay. I unfortunately have not been to Australia. I would fucking love to go to the Melbourne Comedy Festival because oh my god, I'd spend so much money going to see so many shows. There's so many fucking great Australian comedians. Particularly in the Melbourne scene, who I fucking love.
It'd be such a good trip. That's
yeah.
The references we make are part of my contract with James. I have to make those references. So
that's not true.
No, it's, you don't know. It's not your contract.
No, but yeah, Lawrence obviously works for James and the Weekly, the YouTube channel.
It's all one thing, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I've been a fan of the Weekly Planet for like fucking almost 10 years now. And then I got you on board.
You got Nathan got my foot in the door.
Yeah. Yes. And you introduced me to Auntie Donna though.
I actually did. Yeah. Weirdly.
At uni. Yeah.
Like. Feel like they just didn't cross over that much back in the day because we were both enjoying separate Melbourne related things.
It's true, yeah, and they very much cross over like these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I
love all
look, it would be our jam, but
yeah,
they don't know who we are. James might know me, and Nathan. He's been on AHB.
He has. He's been on our podcast, on our other podcast, so you could listen. Maybe we'll rope him into this.
Yeah.
At some point.
But I think if we were walking down the street, no one's stopping us to be like, "Oh my god, it's Still Got Legs."
Yet. Well, maybe if we were walking down an Adelaide street.
I mean, look, there's the difference. Yeah.
We are world famous in Adelaide.
That's where we do our live shows.
Of course, yeah. No, so yeah, Rohan, not been to Australia yet, unfortunately. Would absolutely love to go one day, though. It's a very long way, though.
Big spiders, too.
Not in the city.
I guess not, but I might not
it's
be
more
in
like
the city.
in the country and stuff.
What?
I mean, you'll see a spider, but you'll be fine.
Step on it. Then I'll be fine.
All right. But you'll still be fine is the point.
Don't say it like it's a bad thing.
All right, Lawrence, just a couple of emails to go here.
Emails.
Shut up. This one is from our good friend David with the Talking Pictures podcast.
And Brian.
Just David. Good evening, Nathan and Lawrence. Spelled with an AW, I will add. But I think they're doing that intentionally, just to piss you off. I reckon.
Not Furiosa.
Sorry about not listening to the episode last week before I sent in my email. I find each week I'm at the slight disadvantage of not owning a time machine, and so have to guess what you will talk about and try not to repeat stuff that's already been said. I'll try harder from now on.
How would you do? We don't even know what we're going to be talking about.
We have no idea. I don't even know what I just said. All right, so don't worry about it. I'll keep this short this week in order to go on a bit longer next week instead. So glad Wilf became a companion in this episode. The little dance he does as the minibus pulls up to him is so precious. They really took the quarry in Wales scene description seriously this week. Always get a laugh at the Doctor just standing above, surveying the wastelands of this one quarry. Yeah, it's not a quarry. It's a dock. Okay.
Oh, you're so cross about it.
I pulled Lawrence up on it. I'll pull you up on it.
I've never noticed. It's a joke. It's an ongoing thing. We always talk.
But a quarry is a specific piece of land. It's different. I get they're similar, all right?
Thank you.
It's different, okay? The master, you know how pedantic I get.
I know, mate. Talking to Nathan, right, peek behind the curtain. Talking to Nathan about anything, right, you better ensure that you have your facts 100% straight.
That is not true.
That is absolutely true.
Only about stuff that weirdly annoys me for some reason.
And normally only me.
Yes, normally only you.
You speak to other people, and you don't speak to them like this.
I hold you to a higher standard, Lawrence.
Oh, okay. Oh, bullshit. Okay.
Yes. I want better from you, okay?
Okay, sorry, Nathan.
The Master looks great with the blonde hair, and the cliffhanger ending is one of my favorites, especially as it's not resolved immediately in part 2, even though it is very easily resolved later. Yeah, that is true. Is it spoiler alert? I mean, we've all seen it. My two questions for you both this week, if you haven't answered them already, is what do we think of the magical aspect of bringing back the Master in a show very much about space and time and science? It seems maybe magic was the only way to bring the Master back, because it's easy to explain by just not explaining it. How did the Master come back? I don't know. Magic? We kind of touched on this a little bit. And just bring it back.
Yeah, to reiterate, I would genuinely have not a single problem if Lucy was in the prison cell and then, the Master just knocked on the door.
Yeah.
And it was never explained. I would genuinely prefer that to this weird, never dying, never dying.
Again, this weird cultic ritual thing is just so...
You have to work so much harder to explain so many... Because now we're left... Instead of just the question of how did the Master come back, we're now left with the question... How does that make sense? Who are Lucy's friends? What is a potion of life? How many books of Saxon were published? Who is this cult? Why is the prison involved?
Yeah, exactly.
It's endless.
It just makes the situation so much more worse and confusing. Yeah. And it's just so much better. Just to add a bit of intrigue and mystery to it. Be like, oh, but how did he come back? Who knows? Also, it's easier for you as a writer.
Yeah, why are you working harder? Oh, because he always had it in his mind.
Well, he's wrong.
And a liar.
And a liar.
I always knew it'd be this incredibly lame idea.
Question 2 is, do you think it was fair for Russell to write in the conversation about a new man sauntering away? I feel this was an unnecessary hurdle for the next Doctor to now overcome, as many fans already upset with David leaving were now accompanied by this notion that the next Doctor isn't really him anymore. Luckily, every other Doctor since seems to embrace the change going forward, but just something that doesn't sit right with me about this exchange. David, you are speaking my fucking language, okay? Now listen, okay? I said a little bit earlier, I have thoughts on next week, and I have certain issues with certain scenes, okay?
Yeah.
And not to spoil anything, but this is a conversation to be had next week, okay? Because there's a lot that I want to dive into here, okay? So I feel like we're going to go much more in depth into this next week. But a little bit of a spoiler alert. No, I don't think it was fair.
I to give brief thoughts, because like you said, we will be talking about this a whole bunch next week.
Yes.
I think it has the unintended side effect of what you're saying, in the sense that it's like it does cast this kind of odd, weird vibe over the new tenure coming in, but at the same time, I still think it's within keeping of the character. Like, I don't see Ten facing death as a hero. I see him facing it as a coward. That's just more in line with who that Doctor is for me, I think. And also, I like the idea that it's something different. It's not a brave Doctor facing death in a triumphant acceptance. It's like, oh, this is a kind of a low point for you. And death sometimes is a very low point for people.
There's so many comebacks to that, but I'm going to wait until next week.
Okay, all right, fine.
I'm going to wait. Looking forward to the End of Time Part 2, and we get to see our Queen once again. I too am looking forward to that. All the best, David. Talking Pictures Podcast. # Justice for Martha.
And Brian.
So there we go. And Brian. Justice for Brian.
No, not Justice. And Brian.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's happened?
No, Justice for Lawrence for getting his name misspelled again.
Oh, shut up with your fucking name. Don't have a weird name then, all right?
It's not weird.
It is.
I'm
everyone call him Larry again.
No, God, no, please.
Dear Nathan and Lawrence. This is from Tom Monty. Still got dinner time is the subject line.
Yep.
Dear Nathan and Lawrence, it's dinner time! All in caps.
Yep, very nice.
That moment is quite possibly the scariest moment in Doctor Who history for me, where Dinner Time Master exclaims he's so hungry and then becomes Skeletor and starts flying into the air and then comes back down and devours the two poor homeless guys. Everyone knew they were homeless apart from me. I feel stupid.
I do think it's somewhat vague as well.
It is. Yeah. I just thought they were like construction workers or something.
I mean, they're like, they look exactly like they could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not my fault. Anyway, how would you feel if you were in their shoes and you witnessed this horrifying display before being eaten alive by your former Prime Minister? So let's imagine, all right?
My former Prime Minister wouldn't get the chance.
Okay. Well, let's imagine we're in some desolate wasteland.
Okay.
We've just gone to a burger van and we see that they're skeletons, okay?
Yeah.
And then Boris Johnson himself is now here ready to eat us. How would you feel?
So here's where Ginger and that other guy went wrong, right? They provoke the master. Unintentionally, they provoke the master.
Yes.
Right? If we see Boris Johnson...
Yeah.
Then we already know what's happening. It's on site for Boris Johnson. All right.
I feel like I could take Boris Johnson in a fight.
Two of us, no questions. Yeah,
easy,
one of us hold him
mate.
down, the other one just kick him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
that one's for Britain.
That one's for Britain. Also, with regards to the people working on the burger truck thing, I've always wondered how their skeletons were standing up after they had been eaten by Dinner Time Master. Also, how were they still wearing clothes? Did the Master kindly redress them both after eating them down to the bone? Love, Tom Monty. That's a good point.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
I have no idea. It's just... Maybe so. Maybe he did. Who knows?
You know in Science when they bring in the skeleton model and it's like on wheels?
No. Well, like a TV.
No. You know, like you had like the skeleton model.
In your site, they brought everyone. Get ready. We're bringing in the sign. We're bringing in the skeleton.
You know, I'm sure people will have had experienced this.
We had a skeleton, but it was just already in the room. It was like in the corner or whatever.
Oh, you had a permanent fixture.
Yeah, we didn't just wheel it in like the TV.
Well, ours had to move, Nathan. It was shared amongst different classes, so I guess that's why he's on some fixed wheels.
Fair enough.
I don't know why they're dressed, though. That's a mystery.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Well, it's because it's a silly, goofy show.
Yeah, the Master thinks it's funny.
Yeah, and so do we. P.S. In all seriousness, this plot is pretty ridiculous, but I think it has some great moments, like the bit in the cafe where Ten breaks down in front of Wilf. Also, the big reveal of the Time Lords at the end, featuring a lot of Timothy Dalton's spit. That's very true. He was, he was having a good go of it.
Oh, fucking! We should have brought this up earlier. The first of one of two iterations of spit talk.
Get ready for spit talk next week, guys. I'm telling you.
My.
I think part 2 massively makes up for the poor quality of part 1, and think that a lot of people have come to the conclusion that the end of time as a whole is shit purely because of part 1. I mean, maybe. I am sour on the whole thing, spoiler alert, a little bit. But, I haven't seen part 2 in a while, so maybe it'll redeem itself. But I doubt it.
Like I said earlier, I'm scared because in my head part 2 is good.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of dreading next week coming because I don't really want to besmirch that image I have in my mind.
The last 30 minutes are good. See, that's the thing. That's the thing that I just think most people think about, really. They just, everything from that point on,
Yeah, I guess.
But hey, we'll get there. We
will get there.
Yeah. Anyway, this last email is from Kieran Dixon. Hi guys, long-time listener, first-time emailer. Firstly, I love the podged.
The podged.
Shut up. Firstly, I love the pod and binged it. That's what I conflated.
I see what you did.
You see what I did, yeah. I love the pod and binged it as soon as I found it. Oh, thank you very much. I wrote some questions and comments in my notes when I started listening, so a lot of my email is from conversations you had almost a year ago, so I'll understand if they confuse you without context. Will you be watching Class? I have my own opinions on it, but would be nice to hear yours, in brackets, Doctor Who spin-off. Yes, we will.
Eventually.
We're going to do all the spin-offs. You haven't seen Class, have you?
No, not even a single frame of it.
No, I think I'm excited.
Okay.
So,
do you like Class?
I think it gets a bad rep.
Okay.
And I think it was going for something different. Execution not necessarily the greatest, but I enjoy it. I think it's
fair enough.
I think it's there's stuff there is what I'll say. Atreyu is a boy, not a girl. The horse is named Atrax from 2 of the 3 times you've mentioned the never-ending story. So there you are, Lawrence. I'm going to assume that was your fault.
Oh, yeah. All right, fine.
There you go. I wondered if you'd be interested in doing rankings of episodes or even seasons and tweet them out like stars and reasonably priced cars from Top Gear. I don't even have Twitter, but I'd get it just for that. Would we do rankings? I don't know. I don't like ranking things personally. I get weird about it.
I don't like putting a number on something.
Yeah.
Especially when, I always think that 2 things just can't be compared if they're going for completely different things.
That's my thing. And I often change my mind a lot as well.
Yeah.
I have... Well, I don't. But, my Star Wars ranking, it changes all the time. It's fucking hell. They're all over the shop. But, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know.
Seemed like a very committed no, to be honest.
I always thought Blavine were orange. Blaverine. That's the Slovene cousins or whatever, isn't it?
Yeah, the ones in Sarah Jane, I think.
Were they not orange?
What were they?
Were they blue or grey or something?
Yeah, they definitely weren't orange.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You've been proven wrong.
I hope.
What point did Lawrence stop watching? I don't think it's ever been explicitly stated, but would be interesting to know when he has seen stuff for the first time. In brackets, spelling was intentional. Okay, I didn't bring it up, but...
Oh, I see.
They did spell your name Lorens, ENCE, so an even different one.
Oh, my Lord. I don't like that at all.
There you go.
None of your business. No, I'm joking.
Okay.
It's a haze.
I don't think you fully know, do you?
No. From a certain point, things get hazy, and I always identify that point as the rough end of season 6.
Yeah.
I think
think you saw. You didn't see Capaldi's era.
I've seen.
Oh, but you would have seen the 50th and stuff, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Someone's at the door. One sec.
All right.
Hello. Hi. Yeah. I'm Will. I'm the Labour Party.
Residents. Yes, I am.
Hi, Lawrence. I'm here getting the votes out for, hopefully, the Labour Party.
Oh, I've already done.
Are you already voted?
Yeah.
Can I ask how you voted? A bit cheeky.
Labour, yeah.
Okay, splendid. You're a superstar. Who said that?
No problem.
Is your partner voted already?
Yes, she voted with me earlier, yeah.
Brilliant. You're a Good stuff.
No problem.
Obviously, if you can let other people know, that would be splendid.
Sure, we'll do.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem, thank you. Bye-bye.
Fucking told you.
And how many fucking Labour canvassers are coming
That's
to your
three.
door, mate?
That's three
What the
this week.
fuck?
I
That's
fucking
insane.
told you.
Alright, fair enough. That's weird that that's on the recording as well now.
Fuck's sake.
Have
You
you
can't
already
make
voted?
this shit up.
Have you already voted?
No, I just wanted to get him away from the door, yeah.
Great.
I'm voting later, but
What was I going to say?
right, it does get hazy.
Yes.
I always identify it roughly with the end of season 6. I know that season 7 is. I've seen bits of season 7. But most of Capaldi's era is a blind spot, apart from certain bits and bobs.
Yeah.
I've seen like select episodes. I think some heavy hitters I've probably seen, but again, only seen once. So
Okay. And you watched some of Jodie's era as well, though, didn't you?
I've watched all of Jodie's era. Yeah.
Oh, you watched all of Jodie's era. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
but again,
once,
not
and
to
then-
bring up a certain point, they're not the most rewatchable episodes for me.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we will. We'll
see.
get into
To be
it.
honest, I don't think I've ever rewatched Jodie's era. I only ever really saw it like as it aired, and then just haven't rewatched it. So I'm going to be interested to go back and see those again.
And that's because you're
yeah.
sexist. You haven't seen them.
That
twice?
is because I'm a big sodge. Yeah,
I thought so. Yeah.
That's not true. There we go. Longer episodes are 100% better. Thanks for keeping me sane at work. Never stop. Well, thank you.
That's very
Kieran.
kind.
Thank you, Kieran.
Thank you, Kieran.
All right, and that is still got thoughts for this week, Lawrence. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like I still have energy, so that's at least a step up.
Good.
No, that's lovely. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. We always enjoy your observations, and thank you, everyone, for being merciful as well this week.
Yes, I have to say, it was very nice opening up those emails and seeing a merciful link.
If you do us this courtesy of brief, still got thoughts, then
Yes.
every now and again we'll do a 6-hour attempt. But we won't be pressured, right? We'll decide. They are the doctor, and then after that, it's anyone's guess. No, Nathan, stop this. Nathan, you'll regret it.
8-hour heaven sent episode.
No!
Let's go.
You're a fucking lunatic.
I'll kill myself if we don't do an 8-hour heaven sent
I can live with that. I know you.
No. He's got me. All right. That is it for this week, Lawrence. I was laughing about how last week I was editing the episode, and when I was still reading the email as you try to wrap up the podcast. I was still trying to finish the email before you went, right, thank you very much for listening. And I had to stop you 3 times so I could finish the email.
I was an eager beaver. I needed to get on. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. If you have enjoyed the show, then please feel free to leave a little review for us. 5 stars, no less. That'd be much appreciated. You can do that on your podcast platform of choice. We would appreciate if you could do it through Apple. That'd be nice, because you can leave your thoughts, leave a little text, let us know what you think of the show. Also on Spotify, something's coming up about what did you think of the episode. Still no idea where those things go.
Some kind of Q&A, but we have no idea where the Q's go.
Yeah.
So
don't send any urgent information.
Just
there.
do your Q&A. Q&As go to the email. We all know that. Or Twitter.
Yeah.
We all
That's
know.
how you talk to us. Okay.
Yeah.
Apart from that group chat you've all got without me. You can also follow the show on Twitter. You can mosey on over to @StillGotLegsPod for any updates, as well as sending in your thoughts on what we're discussing every week for Still Got Thoughts. You can also put those in an email to stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com. Nathan, we have another podcast as well, don't we?
We do. It's called Another Happy Pod. Some of the lovely listeners of this podcast listen to it, and you can too. It's all about pop culture. So every week we discuss a movie, a TV show, a video game, mostly movies, and we usually just argue about it, to be honest. This last episode, things got quite heated.
No, that's gone.
And most of it will have to be cut because it was quite bad.
It was one of them arguments where, like, it would just be a bad time listening to it.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. We just both got way too heated.
You know when you're at someone's house, you're at your friend's house, and their mum is having a go at them. That's what it would have been like to listen to that episode.
Or like when your parents are arguing and you're just like,
I don't know what to
go
do.
upstairs. Yeah.
Do I mediate this? I can't.
Yeah. It was not conducive to the episode.
No,
anyway.
I know, and completely unrelated topic as well.
Yes,
so.
also very unrelated. Anyway, so that's gone. But there's probably still arguments left in, and there's always stuff to be. Whatever, just listen to it. Yeah. It's fun. And yeah, another Happy Pod available wherever you get your podcasts, including the same podcast app you're listening to right now.
Whoa!
Tired of ads interrupting your comedy podcast? Do you get it?
I get it, but I can't relate to it.
It's for that ad's funny because it goes like, it basically says, "Hey, do you not like ads? Well, listen on Amazon Prime, and then you won't get ads." But then it does the small print and it goes, "Some episodes may contain ads."
It's like, you're lying.
You just lied to me.
Right. Yeah, thank you very much for listening. We will see you all next week for the end of David Tennant and RTD.
Part 2.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.